Episode 11. Vincent Portillo. Some of you may know him from before his hiding. It's a good call. I respect it. I like it. But anyways, from Valencia County boy, one of my oldest friends. Before this we talked for probably an hour before we got started. And it was just like, dumb things that we did, and we'll get into a lot of that before before the night's over. But it was just, we hadn't seen each other in a long time. And the years and years and years. And we were talking about like how some of those friendships are probably the better ones. When you don't have to talk every single day and all this stuff, and it's still like, dude, we're good. It's like, we've changed, but we haven't changed, right?
Yeah,
we're still friends.
It's too easy, man. It's that low maintenance friendship,
Yeah, it's nice. But before we get started, episode 11, you down?
Oh, God. I got tenant all over me.
Thank you for coming on.
What is this? Who knows?
Absinthe. Liquid Coke.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Okay. I want to get to some stupid stories first.
Oh,
can't forget that. This is the Christmas special. I hit up Vinny a while back, and I was like, dude, I want to plan a Christmas special. You can be in town. And he's like, I'm going to be in town. I was like, would you come on? He's like, heck yeah. So here we are.
I think
episode 11.
Dude, this thing's kind of tight. And it's funny because I'm not like a huge Christmas person.
I have a big, I'll acknowledge your first thing first. I got a pretty big head. And it's pretty tight. Just sits on top.
Yeah, mine's kind of tight too. I don't know, does it make my ears look weird? I don't know. Does it look
not very good on me.
Whatever, dude. I got nobody to impress. It's Christmas.
What was the second thing you said? Christmas thing.
Oh yeah, like I'm not a super Christmassy person.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think as time goes by, I become less Christmassy.
In what way?
I don't know, man. I guess I like Christmas the most just because it is cool because my family gets together and we all enjoy each other's company. But I think we had too much stress at Christmas, bro. I'm like the little Grinch because I'm always like, hey guys, what are the odds of no presents this year? Yeah. And not because I didn't it's not about money, but it's dude, how much stress does that add? I gotta go get presents. I gotta go get this, go get that. And in my opinion, man, can you ever go oh my God, 3 Christmases ago, my cousin whoever got me this cool $30 thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody that's not nope. That's not revelation. Oh my God, Christmas, presents. Yeah. All these wonderful things I got 4 years ago. This thing. 9 times out of 10, they end up in Goodwill boxes and
it's passed
thrown
on.
away,
or
whatever,
trash.
But what to me is I just wish we would do maybe for kids, because I have young siblings, but for the adults, I don't need to get each other stuff, man.
Dude, for this year's the first year because there's people with kids now, a couple me and another brother have babies, and all 3 of us have wives, and it's there's so many people now that I'm like, dude, that's a lot. And so this year we decided to draw names and just get one person a gift.
Yeah.
Dude, I am so down for that.
Yeah, I did that too. I did that. I convinced my family last year. It was at my aunt's house, because it became ridiculous, man. It was just especially they all have families and stuff. I had to buy gifts for all of them, and then they give me the family combo gift, and just oh my God, it was so much added stress, dude. And I was it was
thousands of dollars.
Yeah, bro. It wasn't even about money, dude. It was just I would like to just get somebody something let's pick names, and you could put the money towards getting them something useful, meaningful, and costly. Because you're buying so many presents for so many people. 9 times out of 10, it's just $30 here, $50 here, $60 here, and then you buy a ton of them, and then what can you really get for $60 that you probably wouldn't get yourself? So
yeah. So we're doing that. I get it,
Chucky, dude.
I get it,
Chucky.
I respect it, but I'm glad we're doing that because I'm dude, that is. And I've talked to people customers that and they got a little deeper into it. They're oh, corporate, this is all a scam, blah blah. I'm I can see it, but I'm for Oliver, I'm dude, I don't care. You know what I mean? Because now I'm older and I have money to get whatever he wants, and we don't do that. You know what I mean? But I'm we could. What do you want? And he's funny. I'll say a story real quick, then we'll go on to stupid stories. we'll go to the store and be like, hey, do you want something? Like whenever, he hasn't got something in a while. And he'll be like, yeah, let's go to the toys. And he'll look and he'll just play with a few things. And then, do you want to take that home? No. I'm like, really? You just want to play with it here? So I'm like, okay, it's time to go home. But he just wants to stay there and play with them and then just come home. I'm like, I like that, dude. That's pretty cool.
Works for you.
Yeah, I'm like, but when I got the bike, I'm like, dude, let's get you a bike and you can ride around with me. No, it's okay. I'm like, it's a brand new bike, dude. Because he has a little Strider he rides around. Like, this is a real bike, like a pedal bike. You can ride around. I'm okay. I'm like, dang. I said, okay. I respect it, but I wish I had a buddy to ride bikes with. But I'll start with a cool story. Then we'll get into stupid stories. And we talked about this before, but I want everyone else to know. Probably the last time we had seen each other was in Arizona.
Yeah.
And me and the boys were on tour. Arizona was our first state, our first stop. And we probably hadn't seen each other in a while from then. And dude, that day we showed up. We didn't have any ice in our cooler, nothing. So we're like, dude, all of our waters are hot. Gatorade's hot. And I'm like, dude, what are we going to do? So going to the brewery there. I think it's still the same place. And I get a beer. Like, a beer sounded good. And so the lady's like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, oh, from out of town. We're playing on the stage outside. And she's like, oh. And then we're like, can we get some waters like to take out there with a lot of ice? And she's like, you don't have any waters? We're like, no. They're all hot. And wish we could have drank the hot water. Just whatever. And she's like, I'll bring you guys water every so often. And she did. Like the entire 3 hours we played or whatever.
Yeah.
She would come out with ice water for us to put on the stage. So I'm like, heck yeah. So we tipped her and stuff. It was really cool. But towards the end, my eyes aren't very good. I should wear my glasses, but I don't. And I'm like, dude, that in my head, I'm like, that guy looks like Vinny. I'm like, that's so funny. And then the boys are like, dude, is that Vinny? And I was like, nah, I don't know. Dude, I can't see. Like, I couldn't see very good because it's probably getting dark. And then after you're like, dude, and I was like, dude, it is Vinny. I was like, that's so crazy. And they went to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
And had dinner and talks and stuff. And like I said, that was years ago. But yeah, dude, it was super cool. I'm like on the road and we see someone we know. It was kind of nice.
Dude, I don't even remember why. I think I might have messaged you or saw that you posted something you're going to be out there.
Yeah.
And I live super close to Westgate. I live 15 minutes from Westgate. So I was like, oh, I can't not go swing up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, it was cool.
That's pretty cool.
I had a buddy on who's another musician, and we're talking about that. Not really necessarily that, but just fans being a thing.
Yeah.
So dude, it's to see a familiar face out of town when there's no one cares, no one's paying attention, and then you're like, dude, and I was like, what? So thank you for coming. But yeah, dude, it was cool, and we hadn't seen each other in a while. That's gonna get a little loud for a second, but we have to get in the Christmas spirit.
You gotta drink it with that. Yeah, you gotta send out. Send out. Foamy.
That's the stuff. Christmas, dude. But yeah, okay. So I think you are the only other friend that I've a nickname for a liquor has stuck, and I don't call anything else besides the name. And there's a handful of people that might watch this that would know the name still. And it's Brother Sauce.
Brother Sauce, dude.
Dude, Brother Sauce helped us through maybe some dark times, and then maybe brought us into some dark times in the past.
It was all good fun.
But yeah, dude, I mean, we're not gonna get into names and stories and stuff. There's nights coming into my head that I'm thinking of. Oh, you brought up that one. I won't say that one. But just horrible nights that we can look back at now. It's kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
And that's usually what's the dumb stories that friends I've had on is oh yeah, that was stupid. But yeah, it's stupid. We laugh about it now. But in the moment, you're like, oh my gosh, dude. Brother Sauce. I told you, there's that chugging competition with it and horrible stuff, dude. And I hadn't had it since probably I was, a minor. You know what I mean?
Dude, I just had some today with you, and I can't tell you the last time.
Well, yeah, before that.
Yeah, but even before then,
rough.
That was a go-to, dude.
Yeah, it was. That was
dude, carrying it around, drinking from it like it was a Gatorade.
It's water. But in my head, it tasted good. Thinking about it now, we could do that. I don't think I could walk around with a bottle of Jack Daniels and just sip on it like that. Maybe I could, but I wouldn't finish it. That's the thing.
Oh God, dude.
I feel dry a quarter of the way through. But yeah, dude, taste change, times have changed. But I remember, we'll stay on the drinking stuff for a little bit, and you brought it up. You had said another classic was the Di Serono.
Dude, we still talk about that, man. Like, I see Eric all the time, so we run into each other or hang out or whatever. But like, that's another one you can look back on it and like remember those nights, dude. Like,
yeah. Did he ever did no one find out?
Oh, I know. His mom totally knew.
Oh, really?
100%.
No way.
Oh, yeah, dude. She was.
That we were filling it up and stuff?
100%.
No
she knew.
way.
She was like, oh, yeah. She was like, you and Vinny. And I was like, oh, my God, dude. And it's like, dude, especially when you're that age, dude, you think you're slick, but 100%. Looking back now, I was like,
yeah.
Like, there's no hiding that, dude. Utter idiot.
People almost died in that living room.
Yeah,
dude.
utter idiot. Like, it's idiot. Like, idiot. Just, like.
Yeah.
Idiot.
And then the next morning, we just throw some stuff in the trash can and we leave, thinking like,
oh,
that's good.
Put some water in there, shake it up. Nobody will know.
Like, if someone poured a drink, they're like, what the heck? Do you remember the night that I may or may not have had a couple drinks and we wanted to go for a ride in the R32?
I do remember that, yeah.
And, dude, that's what I'm saying. I've had moments where I've had too much and shouldn't have drove. Learned my lesson, right? That night, swear, I didn't have that much to drink. I was like, dude, let's go for a cruise. I don't know why. I don't know if you'd never been in the R32 or what it was. If we were going to the store or something, I couldn't tell you.
I think we just ripped up and down the street like 1 a.m.
We did, yeah. But I was like, fine. So there's that barbed wire fence, and I was backing up. I was like, oh yeah, we're good. I'm good. Not messed up, not nothing. Oh yeah, I'm just backing up, and I hit the fence barely. And I remember, I forget her name. Nice girl. I don't know. We'll let that be. But
no name dropping.
Yeah, but she was so mad at me. You're gonna kill Vince. Blah blah. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, I'm fine. Like, we usually didn't start getting super messed up to like later on, right? You're gonna kill Vince. Blah blah. I was like, we're going down the street. Like, nothing's gonna happen. Like, I'm fine. I promise. Like, we're good. It's like, do you think I would get in this car if I was all messed up?
I forgot about that
story,
dude.
Yeah.
And now it's all rushing back.
Yeah. Dude. Bonfires in the field.
Oh my God, dude!
Yeah, huge. There's huge fires there.
Yeah.
I don't know how no one showed up. Like, the cops never showed up. There's some huge fires.
Just a little bit of podunk town, dude.
I know. That's why I like it, dude. That's one of the charms I enjoy.
Yeah.
It's like, traveling with the boys, not like how you traveled, but like, in the country, like, you see a lot of stuff and then you're like, oh, dude, that's whack or whatever. You like some things, you don't like certain things, but like, coming back here, I'm like, dude.
We're good. Home, dude.
We're good.
This is home, yeah.
But I do some crazy stories that involve brother sauce. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think. Because we used to be in the... What were those red lights in the bathroom? Do you remember those lights in the bathroom?
Yeah, it was a heat lamp in Eric's in that bathroom.
Lamps, yeah.
That was the
We're
photo booth,
pictures.
dude. That was the photo booth. Yeah, dude. Idiots.
It's
almost like embarrassing now. I'm ashamed of myself.
Yeah. Dude, I wish you still had those. We talked about the shuffle videos.
Oh God.
Like, dude, that's an art. Like, I still like.
And then, what's weird is that's like a big thing now.
It's coming back.
Oh, it's been back for like years. Like, you go to any festival, man, they're like their own little group of like, where it was just like weirdos that used to do it back then.
Yeah.
Like now, it's like a normal thing.
Well, you're the only one good at it.
I don't do it
in the group. You still got it?
No, absolutely not, dude.
No?
No way.
Did you try?
No way.
You got it, dude.
Absolutely not.
But I remember doing the YouTube videos, and I was telling Mom about this. I'm like, dude, like, he would like try and show us, and we'd be like, I don't know how you're doing that. Like, I don't know how you're doing it, right? Because I'm not a very good dancer. Which to some people say, you're a drummer, you have to be good at dancing. I'm like, that's not the truth at all. That's not comparison. But I just never understood how you did your feet like that, how it worked. I'm like, I don't know. Vinny's got a gift. I think you still got it. I'm not gonna make you do it now or ask you.
I wouldn't do it. You couldn't pay me enough money to do it.
But yeah, dude, we just did so many dumb things. Do you remember the New Year's Eve at the girl's house?
I do.
Do you remember being outside Jordan's house? Were you there for that? For that shooting star, whatever that was?
Dude, if I did, I don't remember.
So we were outside. This is before... I guess we'll do some name dropping. It doesn't matter. It's not a bad thing. If it's bad things, we'll say no. But if it's good things, then we'll say
Just beep it out in the edit?
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. We'll talk about it after you say, and then I'll let Maya know. Corey was leaving.
Okay.
So before you guys left, because he left first, right? I think.
Oh, yeah. He was definitely the first one to go.
Yeah. And then we were outside Jordan's mom's place behind Walgreens. And there was like this... I couldn't tell you what it was. So it was like everyone saw it, and no one was partying yet. Because I remember Corey saying, dude, everyone saw that, right? And we're like, yeah, everyone saw it. So it was... I don't know if it was purple or green. Bright, like big shooting star, like bigger than a shooting star. And it went behind the hill and then lit up the sky the opposite color. If it was purple or green, it was the opposite color when it like lit up. And it was like daylight for a second. That's how bright it was. And his house was like right across the freeway from the hill. So we were like, dude, what the heck was that? And we were like, dude. But then it was New Year's Eve, so we're like, man. Whatever. I mean, he just went and partied. And I do that still to this day. I'm like, dude, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
Weird. I mean, I'm not going to go searching for whatever that was.
Aliens, dude.
That's the only
thing.
Has to be.
What else could it be?
What are they doing now, though? Working for, what's new in town? Facebook, Amazon?
Dude, I don't know, man. I'll be honest, man. When I come home, like, I just, like, go visit my family, go eat Dion's at the drive-thru, pick it up, take it in my car, and then, like, bounce home. Like I went to Walmart like last time I was here. I was like,
dude, everyone's gonna know you.
Dude, like ducking around, just like hiding.
Everyone's gonna know you. Yeah, I mean, dude. I remember you being strapped in that posture corrector because you broke your. Remember your posture corrector? Collarbone snowboarding.
Yeah, my jetpack, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I remember being. I don't know what party it was, and you're like,
oh my god. Dude, I was wasted, and I just broke my collarbone, and I was like throwing myself in this chair,
dude.
And they're like, "You idiot! You just broke your collarbone!" Like,
yeah, dude.
And I was like, Then I woke the next day.
Dude, that was intense. I mean, like you brought up stories that I was like, oh my gosh, dude, that's right. Like I feel like we could do that all night, like just reminisce enough to where we remember like everything that ever happened.
Just put two pieces of like. Fill our missing
stories. That's exactly what it is. Like, what happened that night? You're like, dude, this happened. I'm like, oh yeah, and then this, and we just build it.
Not just that, dude, but like I haven't thought about these stories in 10 years, man. Like, then of course I've made a ton of new ones and just like trying to like think back on all these things. Like it's weird.
It's hard. And then some of them are like, try and forget.
Not really, man. I don't really live that way. I've always like kind of look back on things as always just like.
I could think of one for you.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But I forgot to tell you that one before. I just thought of it now.
It's probably a bad one, too.
It was a beer pong game. So. Do you know this, though, how I got this, right? I'm not going to show that on camera. You know that, right?
No.
So, I'm not just... Nah. For those of you that know me, know what the tattoo is on my leg. I'll tell you the story of how and why. Okay, so me, David, Levi, and maybe Jordan were partying at someone's house. Couldn't tell you where. And we were playing beer pong, and it was me and David playing Zayna and someone. And we beat everyone, me and David, because we practiced at the house with like.
I do remember that. I remember you guys being oddly good at beer pong.
Yeah, and so we'd go everywhere, and because I didn't know many Los Lunas people, so David would take me to parties and we'd play beer pong and we'd beat everyone. So this time, and there was no like prize money or it was just stupid, right? And so we're there, we're playing Zayna and someone, I forget who, and it's like last cups, right? Everyone's like standing around tables, and the girls threw and they missed, and they're like, dude, like if we don't get it this time, they're gonna get it the next time. So then I go first, and I threw and I missed. And I was like, dude, we lost to the girls, or whatever. And I told David, I was like, dude, hype talk, real quick, come here. He's like, what's up? I was like, all right, here's the deal. If you make this before you come back, before you come back after basic, I'll get this tattoo somewhere in my body. and he was like, he put his hand out, he's like, on brothers? And I was like, yeah, on brothers. And I shook his hand, and dude, like this, like locked eyes, threw it and made it, and I was like, what? So, kitchen tap. Can you read it?
Oh god, I can't read it.
Yeah,
that's a terrible tattoo.
Yeah, and so I was like, because I don't know, because I think we always used to joke about that, like, him being from Durango, you know what I mean? Like, we'd always say that to each other, just joking around. I didn't know it was a gang. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, that's funny. My buddy's from Mexico. Yeah. And then afterwards,
now you're gang affiliated.
Dude, that's why for the longest time I never wore shorts. Like to shows and stuff. I'm like, dude, I don't want it. You know, what if? That's scary stuff. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
It's a whole different thing. Yeah, so that's how that happened. But, dude, that picture I posted of us, that was like pre-tattoos. Look at our arms. Like, you have way more now than I do, but in that picture, neither of us had. We had clean arms.
Yeah, I think I got my first tattoo when I was like, I was like 18 or 19. And then I didn't get one for a while, and then I kind of got some like spots done. Then I went like a long while without getting tattoos, and then when I got to Phoenix, I was like, pour it on.
Yeah.
And then like I got this arm done, and then I waited for a bit, and then I was like, you know what, dude? I was kind of like just like that weird, like, oh, if you have like one sleeve, like you have tattoos, but then if you get 2 full sleeves, like that's a lot of tattoos.
And then
I was just like,
legs.
Just let it rip, dude. I'm gonna get my chest done next, probably my next project, whenever I find the time to do that. But
nervous for that. I got a small one that comes in the center a little bit. It's no joke.
Yeah,
Sternum sucks.
I feel weird, dude, because sometimes like I look in the mirror and I'm like, I never thought I would be somebody with 2 sleeves. Like it was just like I never pictured myself that way. But
look like a stud in that camera, though. Dude, if you went to Walmart again, if we went to Walmart right now, and you saw someone from the good old days, they would take a second look and be like, is that Vince?
I did have that. That would happen.
Because you're way bigger. You're way more of a stud now. You were always a stud. You're always handsome.
No.
Right? Dude, no.
Dude, I have a huge goofy
Everyone.
nose.
Come on, guy. Look at my... I haven't even broken it. It has that thing. But everyone that knows you, that would watch the podcast, guarantee, would say you were a stud then, but you were more now.
Well, thank you.
Look at you, dude. You're shredded.
Very kind words.
How often you go to the gym?
I work out a lot. That's kind of my job, dude. I mean, it's part of my duty day. Yeah. So I'm lucky enough to be in a career field where we work out a lot. So, and then I always try to strive. I'm in a funk, dude. I feel like I've been like terrible with my fitness and just kind of like trying to get it back together. But dude, Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, dude, 100%. I do think that we'll get into a. Got a couple more of those inside. This is something I've never asked you, but maybe we'll go back to dumb stories later on. But why? Was there a particular reason and why you joined?
I guess I had like some uncles, and I do have like nobody in my immediate family is like super military, but I did have some uncles that like were in the military. I do have like one of my uncles is a retired Master Sergeant, so he was in the Air Force for a long time. And then my cousin, his son, matter of fact, joined. I went to go see his graduation, and I was kind of like already starting the process. But like the big thing is just like, dude, I went to college for 1 semester. I went to the VC, and I was just like,
heck no.
I was like, bro, this is not for me, man. Like, I hated it. You know, you make just enough money to like survive, and I was like I didn't enjoy it. It didn't feel like it was part of my personality. It was like, but not what I was into. And so I was like, man, I want to do something different. Like, I definitely like, in a weird way, I was like trying to get out of here too. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, that'd be a cool thing to do. And then, yeah, man, I went in with my broken collarbone because I was still healing. And they're like, hey, once you get healed up, you know, we'll get you squared away. So yeah, like I waited for that to heal up, and then sure enough, kind of started the enlistment process, and here I am, 10 years later.
How's it feel?
That's good, dude. It's been good, man. Like, I know a lot of like our buddies. Obviously, like I think there's only 2 of us really left, and everyone else kind of. I think I can't really. I know there was like a lot of other people that were in like our immediate friend group that like kind of joined out, and a lot of dudes joined the Air Force too. But I think I'm like the only one left, and Corey too still in. So,
dude,
everyone else kind of
did their own thing,
did their time, came out, like did what they got to do. Which is cool too. You know what I mean? I can respect that. So.
Yeah. So you enlist basic. What's your rank at basic? What are you called?
Just a airman basic. Matter of fact, so it's like just E1, dude. Just
okay.
Basic,
simple, nothing.
simple E1. Then if you do like a 6-year contract, you have to do like so much time, or graduate your tech school, and then they'll promote you straight to E3, which kind of saves you like a year of, you go one from E1, then you jump straight to E3, which is still like you're still an airman, right? Like A1C is like nothing, but you skip the E2 phase. But so my school's so long that I went to like EUD school's so long. So matter of fact, when I was in EUD school, I hit that time mark and then went to E3 and then graduated. I actually went from basic and then I went to prelim school, which is in Shepherd Air Force Base, and that's just like the school to kind of like thin the herd of all the people who may not cut it at actual EOD school, and then we all go to EOD school in Florida. It depends how long it takes you to get through school. So I did it pretty quick, like in like 8 months, but some people it takes like a year, sometimes more than a year. So
it's at your own pace?
No. Like you're in a class. Like the problem is like people wash out, so you'll fail tests or you'll fail this or you'll fail that, and then they recycle you to another phase.
Oh, it's like the next class or whatever.
Yeah, you'll roll back, and then if you fail that, then you what's called a double tap. So essentially, they roll you. You have to go to a board, and then they ask if they still want to keep you or not. And then if you get put back in class, maybe they give you like you start a section again, and then and then if you roll back too many times, they just wash you out of the school. So
dang. So what are you now?
I'm at E6.
Okay.
So
how many years has it been?
10.
10 years?
I just hit 10. Yeah.
No
November,
way.
Last month.
Goodness, dude.
Yeah, 10 years.
Such a badass.
Halfway.
That's crazy. So and that's like you just said halfway. Is that something that's from the very beginning was 20, or you're deciding this as you go?
Dude, I never planned super long term. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm like a short term planner. Just like I was like, all right, we'll see where it's at. Like, see how I feel after 6 years, and then 6 years came up, and I was like, even at 6 years, like I was like, no way, I would be ready to get out. Like,
yeah.
I still enjoy it, and I still do now. Like,
so how far in before you tested or went to school for EOD Tech? How many years were you in?
Oh, I mean, it's a right away process. So
really?
I went from basic to the first school, then to the second school, and then
shoot.
once you graduate that school, then you go to your first duty station. And I was in Valdosta, Georgia, and I was there for 3.5 years, and then I got a short tour to Incirlik. So I moved to Turkey, and I lived there for a year, and then I finished that, and then I moved to Luke Air Force Base in Phoenix, and I've been there ever since. So I got there in 2018.
Dude. So you've traveled a lot. Like, I see stuff. But how much of that was it just Turkey was for work?
Oh, yeah. I was there. I was stationed there for a year.
And then all the other stuff was just you wanted to go?
Not really, man. Like, I travel a lot for work, man. Like, matter of fact, I was in Germany last month for training. So I flew to Germany for like a week and a half. Like, been to Switzerland on work trip, Italy, Austria. That's too many countries. I mean, even more than that. So
yeah.
That's a majority of it. I mean, like, my own personal fun travel, like, I went to Costa Rica last year. It was fun, like, for my own. But more times than not, like, I end up traveling all over all over the place. All over the States, too, so.
Yeah.
I do travel a lot, so.
Yeah. I like Valdosta. It's a nice place.
Have you been there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Passed through. Day trip. Passing through to Jacksonville. From, where were we? I don't know. Somewhere else. But yeah, we stopped at like a mall. Needed a TGI Fridays in Valdosta.
Ew.
It's cool. Yeah. Sure. Never mind. I'll tell you after.
Offline.
Yeah.
Offline.
But yeah, like I said, I don't really talked to anyone else from those days. I maybe see a couple people here and there.
Yeah.
But I wanted, like I said, we don't talk that much. We'll check in, hit you up, or vice versa. And but whenever I started this, I'm like, dude, like, I gotta have Vinny on. Like, there was a time there where we were like always together, No, we weren't drinking all the time. We were doing other things.
Car shows, car meets.
Yeah,
Montgomery.
Yeah, dude,
Stupid,
Montgomery.
more stupid stuff.
Yeah, just dumb stuff that didn't involve alcohol. But yeah, you're like one dude that like got out, got away, and stuck with it, and you're happy doing it. You know,
Yeah.
And that's super cool. But I see. I have a buddy who's younger than us. I couldn't tell you what branch he's in, but he was like a small dude, skinny, whatever, and he was young. I mean, when he joined, he was pretty young, and years now, and this dude's just huge. I'm like, dude, that's gangster. But like him, same thing. Maybe not so much now, but why he got it whenever he was out doing things. Like, dude, there's nothing like that's what you do. Like a lot of your time, he's like, if you've done all your stuff you have to do, he's like, why not? And so I'm like, that's gangster.
Especially when you deploy, man. Like, deployments are super boring more times than not.
Yeah.
Like, so you just end up in the gym, like, just crushing weight. And
Yeah. How fast before you got big?
I feel like I'm not even that big, dude.
Well, I mean, like, you're not like huge, but you're bigger than you were. You
yeah,
know,
I mean,
you
I
know
was like a pretty small dude.
But I mean, I feel like basic changes you. Like, gets that initial change.
I think in basic, man, you just start running and then they feed you. It's like a whole weird lifestyle change, so it's kind of weird. But I would say, like, it wasn't even a nap. Like, when I was in EOD school, like, you get worked out pretty hard there.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until I got, like, to my shop and then, like, I could kind of, like, be mentored by other people who were also, like, big dudes or fit dudes or whatever. And then, like, honestly, it's been, like, a slow progression. So it's, like, I can't say that there was, like, a 6-month period where I went from, like, nothing to just massive. But it's been, you know, I've been working out for 10 years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I would even work out even before I joined, but nowhere near as, like, serious as it is.
Consistent.
Yeah, like, nowhere near as consistent as now.
Yeah. I asked you this before we started because I knew you're a past dancer. But out of every place you've been, what's your favorite place now?
Favorite place now?
Whether that's work or not work.
I would say, like, favorite place to visit is, like, probably Costa Rica. Like, I love it there. And the old lady and I went down there and, like, dude, it was, like...
The complete getaway.
Oh, bro, it's, like...
Reset.
Oh, dude. And then, like, she likes to surf, so she's from Florida, so...
Sick.
We'd go, like, she taught me how to surf, and, like, we're just, like, surfing out there. And, like,
Heck
the
yeah.
food is so good just because it's, like, all natural food.
Mm-hmm.
And she's, like, a super hippie, so...
Sick.
Like, the natural lifestyle is,
Yeah.
like, what she's about.
That's good,
so.
dude.
So she's, like, eating, like... We're eating, like, healthy food every day, dude. Just, like, surfing and just, like... Just super chill. It's beautiful there. The people are so nice. Like, love it.
Yeah.
But, like, for work stuff, like, if I had to, like, pick, like, a workplace to go that, like, you could go, like... Prague was, like, fun because, like, I can't talk about it on here whatsoever, like, what happened in Prague. But, like, Prague is, like, where, like...
A cool spot.
Like, dude, if you picture, like, a crazy movie about, like, Eastern Europe, like, that's where you go do it, dude. Go to Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go do some unspeakable things.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, just a cool place to go is Germany, probably, I would say. Like, if somebody had to pick, like, a trip, like, oh, I want to go on the trip somewhere, like, I would say Germany. And I've been to Germany, like, 4 or 5 times, so.
Dude.
And, like, I think Germany, just because, like, the Germans all speak super good English, like, to the point where, like, you'll be confused you're even talking to, like, a German person, because, like, they speak super well. Like, their English is phenomenal. And then, like, the food's pretty decent. The beer's, like, obviously really good. Mm-hmm. And then, like, you can rent a car there and travel around the roads and, like, drive on the Autobahn. And, like, it's gorgeous, dude. Like, it's pretty gorgeous there. So.
See, that was always my thing. So, before we had Oliver, our honeymoon was Italy. And then...
And I've done that, too. Like, I've been to Italy a few times, like, for fun and for work. But, Italy's cool, man, but it's just, like, it's not really, like, a jumping place.
Yeah.
Like, it's just cool to visit, and the food's really good.
Yeah.
And it's, like, it is pretty, but the Italians are also, like, kind of, like, they're not overly friendly.
Yeah.
Especially towards Americans, so.
Right? And that was always my thing. So, like, it was, I think we had a couple nights in Switzerland, and I forget where else. But I was always super nervous with, like, the language stuff.
It's really not bad, especially if you go to tourist cities, dude. Like, 9 times out of 10, like, they all speak English. Mm-hmm. And then especially, like, especially like around the German area, like the Swiss, because I've been to Switzerland too. Gorgeous, by the way. It's very expensive though. They all speak super good English, and makes you feel stupid, dude. Like stupid American, because you show up and you're like, I don't speak English, and like you barely speak English, and like they speak like 4 or 5 languages.
Yeah, dude.
Like I met this girl in Switzerland one time, and she was like, oh, you know, like she took us around the town and stuff. We just like randomly ran into her. She's like, oh, cool, I'll take you around. So like she just like bopped us around, dude, and like she was like, well, I speak German and I speak French and I speak a little Italian, and I'm just like,
hi,
hola. I speak
a little bit.
I speak some Spanglish.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Do that, yeah. I see that. But I was like, I've also seen like Hostel and like The Human Centipede.
I have been to places like that too and seen some unspeakable things, but I don't think you're that worried.
I'm not their target.
Yeah, you are.
So, no, we're good. Let him go.
Yeah, this is on your way.
Keep going.
On your way.
We're looking for someone more. Never mind. But yeah, dude, that is really cool. How'd you do? You want to talk about that?
I don't know. Give me a hint. What is it?
I don't know.
How did I what?
How'd you guys meet?
At work, matter of fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. I did the typical things like shit where you eat, you know.
Okay.
But we worked together.
What? Where?
In Phoenix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
It's kind of weird, dude. It's pretty natural though. It's like, you know, she had a boyfriend or whatever. I just come back and we got there at the same time, and we're both the same age. So, she's pretty quiet, you know. I worked with her. We were cool, just like totally normal friendship, like work friend. I wouldn't even say like a friendship, just like a work friendship, because she's pretty quiet. But it was cool. Just kind of hung out. I always thought she was cool. Yeah. And then, you know, she ended up like breaking up with her boyfriend or whatever, and I was like, oh, cool, you know, whatever, do your thing. Like, still nothing. No, still nothing, dude. Seriously. And I liked her a lot. Like, I just, even as like a person, I respected her a lot and thought it was cool. And then, like, I've been in long enough to know, like, oh, typical dude hits up the girl at work. Like, I've seen that a million times, and I was like, I don't want to be a part of that. And I liked her and I respected her, so I never wanted to like make her uncomfortable or anything. And then it got to the point where like we started hanging out more, like together, totally friends, like nothing weird. She'd come to my house, like cook me food, and then watch a movie and go about her way. Nothing happened, man. And then, I guess. And then still same thing. Like I didn't know she was into me. I thought it was just cool. So I was like, I would never make moves on her, just because I liked her. Like we were cool, and I didn't want to ruin a friendship. And then she ended up kind of like making moves on me. So then I was like, all right, whatever. And then, dude, it was like a seamless transition because like I already known her for years.
Yeah. So like it was like you had to get to know her.
Yeah, dude. There was no awkward like in between phase. It was just like, dude, it was just like overnight. We just like it just became cool. Yeah. And then, you know, like it was. We had been friends for a year. Like I had worked with her for so long, and then we got to a point where we were like probably good friends for like a year, and then so it was like seamless transition. Man, we've been together like over 2 years now. So
sick. That's
good.
Cool.
Can't complain, man.
Yeah, dude, that's good. That's another thing. Like looking back. Me and my buddy were talking about this. We were talking about exes and stuff.
Oh, God.
I'm like, dude. Like, the young man's mind, dude. You know what I mean? I'm like, what?
Dude, that's a good way of putting it. So it's just like the young man's mind.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, especially when you're that age, like, you're not even... You need those things to process them, to experience them. But, like, at the same time, like, I look back on it now and I was like, dude, I wasn't even capable of, like, processing...
Gosh.
Just like I feel like I have embarrassing thoughts. Like I look back at myself as like a 19-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid and being like, dude, you are embarrassing me right now, dude. You idiot. Yeah. Like you are disgusting.
Yeah. Dude, you're like so ashamed and like, why did I do this? You know what I mean? Why did I say that? Dude, I would say with even like not to even get into like the X thing, like just like general just who I was. You know what I mean? I'm like, I look back, I'm like, why? What are you thinking?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Granted, there's a lot of good times and a lot of memories.
Yeah, but I think you need those experiences in your life, you know what I mean? Like, especially to learn from them. So it's
if you didn't have that, you'd be like our age now wanting to do that stuff. And I'm like, meh. Yeah. Like we talk about that now. Like, nah, I'm good. Like, I definitely don't drink like I used to. I couldn't. There's no way. There's no way.
Dude, so I've definitely taken it down, man. But So when I was stationed in Turkey, like that place is like shore tours and their military are like known for partying. And so like in the Air Force, there's 3 that you can go to. There's 2 bases in Korea and the one in Turkey. And so I went to the one in Turkey. And that one was very particular because the Korea ones, you can kind of go into the town and go party, and those guys party there, right? But in Turkey, because they had that coup in 2015, the base was utterly locked down. So we couldn't leave the base, no nothing. So imagine trapping like a few thousand people, no wives, no kids, no nothing.
Chaos.
Dude, chaos, and the work is terrible there because like it just sucks, dude, and it sucks to be there. But I went with, like, the most awesome crew, and I had, like, some of my best friends in the whole world were there. Like, we happened to just, God put us together there at the same time. And, dude, like, and then you supply alcohol, dude. It was like, dude, I have seen and participated in some, like, seriously unspeakable things there.
What's the weather like there?
It was weird, man. Like, it would be, like, pretty warm summers, humid, and then, like, it would get cold in the winter, too. So it's, like, it had like pretty decent weather, so, and it's kind of like by the ocean, like there's like a sea right there, like the one that's like Syria's real close.
Yeah.
So the weather there is like you get that cold air, and so it's like, dude, it fluctuated a lot, and it rained a lot too, like flood the streets.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
But
so you didn't leave the base at all while you were there?
no, I left a few times for work, but you can't leave for fun. And the only reason I was lucky to leave for work is because like I had to go to Switzerland, and I had to go to Italy. And then they let you take what's called a mid-tour, so you can, like, because you're there for 13 months or 12 months, you can go, like, get off the base and just kind of, like, take leave. And I ended up doing a backpacking trip with my friend Bivens.
Sick.
So we backpacked around Europe, and, dude, like,
wow.
I was on a bender, dude. Like, an extreme bender.
Dude.
Like, every night, dude, like, waking up, like...
Oh, no.
Like, shaking, like...
Fiending.
Like, just like in utter pain, dude. Just like head pounding, just like... And then the worst part is like there's nothing to do except like just roll into another day of just...
Yeah. Do it again?
Yeah, brekkie beers, dude, and just to take the edge off and then just... But it was so fun, man. But I was like 25 years old, so it's like... My body could tolerate that. Like, now I was like almost 30, dude. I'm like, no way.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I feel like the boys made fun of me. Like, oh, you're even on tour. Like, you're the dad at tour. Mom and dad aren't there. That's what they say. You're like, stop being our dad. Like, no, I have to be because there's a handful of stories. But like, no, it's not gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, we gotta stay on track or whatever. And so I always made fun of me. But I'm like, dude, like, and then when I turned 30, they're like, how old are you? Or when are you turning? Or how old are you gonna be? And I'm like 30. And they're like, what? You're gonna be 30 now? And like, dude, time just keeps going on. And I'm like, yeah, dude. And they're like, you're old now. I'm like, I feel old, but 30's not old, right? Like, I'll wake up some mornings, and like from injuries and stuff, like I feel more now. And this is not like when I turned 30, I started feeling this stuff, right? But like over the last maybe 3 years, I'll like move or wake up a certain way, and like, dude. Like you hurt my knee, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll get up, and like first thing I'll do is I'll stand up, and like I'll just get on my toes and my ankles and my knees. Everything's popping, and I'm like, dude. And then on the bike and stuff, like I could probably ride longer than I've been riding, but my knees, dude, it hurt. They just hurt. And like I had a buddy who, was a police officer in the city, and he was small, and he goes, dude, push-ups. It's like just. Dude, stupid amount of push-ups. He's like, your shoulders, your arms, everything. Push-ups, pull-ups. He's like, I'm telling you. And so I started doing like, for a while there too, I was doing like what I thought was a lot. I don't know how much any of you guys do, but I was doing like, I don't know. I would try and squeeze in like 300, and I would space them, right? But I'd try and do like 300. And dude, my elbows were hurting so bad that I was like, dude, I think something's wrong with me. I think I have bad elbows. And he's like, bad elbows? It's like, have you hurt your elbows? And I was like, I don't think I have. My elbows just hurt, dude. He's like, dude, that keep going. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. I kept doing it. I'm like, dude, something's wrong. Like, it's like hurting. He's like, and then I told him, I was like, dude, I stopped doing that many push-ups. I was like, I don't think that was good. He's like, dude, that's why you're never going to be like me. And I'm like,
oh, God,
dude. Or he said something like that. But I started laughing about it. Like, dude, that's the truth. Like, because I thought something was wrong with me, and his mentality was, oh, no, I just got to get through it. I'm like, dude, And then now he's a big dude. But he was like, I was smaller than you, and he's like, I just did that. I did a lot of that every single day. He's like, then it becomes your life, and it's not like you're forcing yourself to do it. It's like, what you do. And but yeah, that's what he said. He's like, just get through that pain and keep doing it. He's like, maybe slow it down a little bit, but then once you start to feel okay again, then pick it back up. And I was like, okay. I'm like, dude. I get up for like 5 for work and stuff. And I'll get on my phone for a little bit and whatever, emails and browse Instagram, and then get off that pretty quickly and do something else, wasting time. But like, I'll get up early and get on the bike, and so I don't have to do it when I get off of work. But I'm like, dude, getting up at 5, I'm just like, I don't want to get on the bike right now. Like, what's nice is in the afternoons, Oliver will go in the room with me and he'll play with toys, and I'm on the bike, and we'll just hang out and talk while I do that. But like in the morning, it's all quiet. And we're still.
See, dude, I'm terrible at working down the afternoon, man. I have to work out in the morning. Like, I get up at like 4:30 and go get like every day, just go pump it out. Like, I'm like a morning worker-outer. And then if I don't work out in the morning, like, I feel terrible all day.
Yeah.
Because I'm also like the uttermost like worst morning person. And so it's like, I wake up and I have to like beat bop around, like drink some coffee, like shake it off, dude. Like, I wake up like an hour later, like when I'm driving to the road, like to work. And I'm like, all right, cool, like, let's bang a workout in.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know how your old lady is, but, like, if you have somebody, like, especially my girlfriend's, like, a morning person, I just want to, like...
I'm a morning person.
I'm death, dude. Because I'm, like, in bed, like, alarm goes off, I'm, like, shaking, and then, like, like, where am I? You know, and she's like, what are you doing today? She's, like, shaking me. I'm just like, oh, my God, leave me alone, please.
Dude.
She, like, springs up. She's like... What are you going to do today? I'm just like,
what?
Like, I don't even know where I am right now. Like, leave me alone, please.
Dude, I'm a morning person. Like, but this is the thing. Maybe I'm not. I like to think I am.
Yeah.
Because for every trip, any trip, road trip, you know, going anything like that, or maybe anything kind of fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's get up at 3. Let's hit the road early, right? Or like, let's get the earliest flight out of town. Like, I'm like, in the airport. Like the last time we flew to North Carolina, I was like, "Good morning, how you guys doing?" And she was like, "Who are you?"
I would beat you over the head with the closest hard object, dude.
She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just so excited." And she's laughing. She's like, because I said I always get like super like giddy.
Yeah.
Like when I get to travel or do so, like get up early and go somewhere. So I was like, good morning. And the people are like, good morning. I'm like, see, look, they're nice. They're like, hey. That's how I am.
Yeah.
But for some reason, dude, like, because I'll wake up and I'll be awake. And I was like, eh. But then, like, I'll get on my phone for a little bit, like, oh, I got a little bit longer. And I'll crash back out or whatever it is. But I'm like, that's my thing, is I'm, like, forcing myself to get up. I don't want to get up. And I'm like, I don't want to work out right now. I don't want to go do that right now. I'll do it later. And I'm usually pretty good about doing it later. But, yeah, dude, I can't see me getting up any earlier than that to work out. I don't think I would be a morning person. I think I'd be like, stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Anna gets up with me and, like, packs my lunch and stuff. And then sometimes she can crash back out until Oliver gets up. But most of the time, he wakes up pretty early, too. But, yeah, dude, I don't know what it is. Like, some mornings, I'm just like, phew. Like this morning, I was up at 4:30 because I had to be in Mount Air by 6. But yeah, I feel fine. But I had to get up for work, not to work out. And I'm like, man. But if I feel like I have to, like, all right, I'm setting my alarm for 4:30 so I can go to the work out. And I'm like, I would be like, psh, I'm waking up at 6 now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know how you do it, dude. But I mean, like you said, you've been doing it for so long. That's just the way it is now.
Yeah, it's pretty normal, dude.
I like this, my own little questions.
Yeah. What are your questions? Look at those questions, man. That was rolling to the
No, not those.
Talking about
those
weird,
are different things.
Talking about weird stuff. Aliens.
I know, dude.
Are you a conspiracy theorist?
Yeah. Do you want to get into that?
Oh,
do you want to do that?
We'll just let it flow, dude. I don't know,
dude.
You can ask them. What if you hit the quick hitter questions and I'll just like short answer them and then we'll just roll into like weird stuff, politics, juicy topics. That'll get us in trouble.
I don't know, but I just have like a couple of questions that are not weird.
Let them rip, dude.
Sounds like super into like watching what we've been eating and like chemicals and everything we use now, and like all this stuff, right?
Yeah, dude, I'm like pretty bad, and like I'm bad just because my old lady's really bad.
Yeah.
And so she's like tinfoil hat bad.
Sick.
And then I'm always like, you're an idiot, like you're weird. And then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, yo, like yeah.
You see an article?
Yeah, dude. And then I was just like,
you were right,
dude.
Give me one of those.
Yeah, I'm like Alex Jones, they're turning the frogs gay, dude. I'm just like, oh my god, dude. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, and like the weird part is like, she like slowly, just easily like pulls me to this like these weird things, and then I'm just like, that's weird, that's too much, and the next thing I know, I'm like on the train too. So like, I'm super bad about it.
Yeah. Dude, but some of the, I mean, I say most of those things you're like, oh, that's dumb, and then you're like, oh my gosh, like you dig into it a little bit, and you're like, whoa,
dude. You're
like, how did I not think this before?
Yeah, dude, we're gonna go there. Maybe we'll go there, but just like. Dude, I'm like a full believer, like, we're due for some really strange things. Like,
yeah, I'm ready.
Just because, like...
Actually, within the safe when we're done.
Dude, you and me both, bro, like, same thing. And, like, I'm the same boat, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw your loot, and I was like...
Yeah.
I'm on the same boat, dude.
Yeah.
We're here together,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And then, you saw the room. But, with the health stuff... like you said, I know she's super healthy, but like, do you guys, do your diets differ? Or because she's healthy and you're wanting to stay in shape, it kind of matches up most of the time?
Yeah, she's super fit too, man. She's a little monster. She's kind of taking some time off the gym, but she's like, her and I used to go after it, man. And that was like a friendship thing. Her and I we call it like Savage Saturday.
Sick.
So we meet up like, this was like before we were together, but we would meet up at the gym on Saturdays and just like utterly punish ourselves.
Sick.
And just like some insane workouts, like hour long, like heart's gonna explode, like. And so she's super healthy too. So I mean, there's sometimes where like we're both eating a certain way, but more times than not, like I think like our like long-term health goals are like kind of the same. Like we avoid the same foods. Like we both agree on what's good food, what's bad food. Mm-hmm. Like maybe she's more extreme than I am or whatever, but like. All in all, like we're pretty similar, so we get along with that.
Yeah, dude, I it's been a while, and I couldn't tell you the last time, but it sounds good sometimes. I'm like, that does sound good. McDonald's, right? I'm like, it sounds good.
Dude, we used to crush double cheeseburgers, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you remember going just like Mickey D's double cheeseburger? Then we get like $5 together and just go. We had a contest to see how much like dollar cheeseburgers we could eat.
Did I remember like? I mean, I feel like that's most party nights, or almost every party.
Or
night.
TB.
Dude.
And let's Taco Bell, dude.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. So, any fast food, I'm like, I'm good. I do not. I like, oh, it sounds good. Okay, like a single cheeseburger now, right? Dude, gross, dude. I can't do it. But dude, I can't kick Taco Bell.
I mean, dude,
I can't kick it,
dude.
I'm lifer.
I love it, dude.
You get it tatted. That's
like
the next one.
Like I eat it rarely, dude. But like at the same time, matter of fact, like I had Taco Bell like a week ago. But like I might eat fast food like a handful of times like all year. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then like you get that way. It's kind of amazing, man. You see some people like they literally eat Taco Bell or they'll eat fast food like every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I work with dudes like that, but like, dude, Taco Bell bangs, man. That's all there is to it. And the one thing else I preach is like you could go to Taco Bell and just like dartboard, like throw a dart, and whatever you're gonna get is gonna slap, dude.
You're gonna love it.
You're gonna love it. What it is, dude.
Yeah, dude. We haven't had it in a while, but the last time we were sitting here and it was, I think Mom and Dad were out of town, and we're like, "What do we eat for dinner? Like, we gonna cook something?" And I was like, oh, "You know, it sounds good." And then I was like, "Taco Bell, same thing." God. And I'm like, "Yes!" And so I was like, "Let's go." So we went, and I couldn't tell you the last time I sat down in a Taco Bell and ate, right?
But like, dude, I haven't done that in a long time.
And so I was like, "There's no one in there," and it was me, Anna, and Oliver. I'm like, "Let's just go, sit down in there. There's no one in there. Who cares?" And so we sat down, and I remember taking a Snapchat of us, and we like had all of our food, and I was like, dude, I was so excited. And the caption or whatever it was is like, I guess we're all shitting as a family tonight. And I was like, and there's every time it gets me every time because I have a pretty sensitive stomach, but it's totally worth it. I don't care, and I'll go back the next day if I need it.
Dude, I have an iron gut, man. But one thing about when I eat Taco Bell's, like I don't just go there and grab like a taco. I eat like I need like a wheelbarrow when I leave because I just leave with like I'll take one of those, and people say it's impossible, but I'll run out of there with like a $30 bill at Taco Bell and just eat like. It doesn't fill you up.
No.
Like, I don't know what it is. It's magic. It just disappears.
All right.
And I'll just be like, just smashing Taco Bell, dude.
I was going to say top 5 items, but I'm going to go top 4 items.
Beefy 5-layer burrito.
Okay.
So that's not my favorite.
Okay.
I get chalupas. Beef chalupas. Can't get chicken. They just don't slap like that disgusting, probably not real beef.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
I think you can.
Like
that's the one bad thing.
Dude, that beef is just made of like a boiled tire with some meat seasoning, but you know what? Dude. That grease pours out.
In anything I get, it's a beefy 5.
Beefy 5, can't go wrong.
Chalupa.
2 chalupas in a taco. Number 6.
Cheesy gordita crunch.
That bangs to you.
I think if we do like a box. Dude, I'll say that people are going to hate on me for this. I don't care what you say. Those nacho fries are pretty damn good.
I never had them.
They're good. It's like, you don't want to know. You don't want to ask questions. They're good.
Dude, if you have a taco shell, it's a Dorito.
Yeah, it can't be good.
Dude.
Yeah, that's grown in a lab, dude.
It can't be good. It's not real food.
Good at all.
It's not real food.
No, but it's good, and I'll do it every time. But Anna's go-to is Crunchwrap.
Crunchwrap's pretty.
Yeah,
bangs, dude.
I got Oliver into they have like it's like nothing. I don't even know what it costs, but it's like the spicy potato burrito or the little spicy potato roll.
Oh yeah, the roll,
dude, it's so good. And then they have like a little a cheese roll too. Yeah. That's like nothing. And then the cinnamon twist, he had never had those.
Oh god.
And I was like, dude, I'm gonna change your life today. It's like, got him something. He was all mad. I was like, do you want a burrito or taco? I don't want that. He was all mad. I'm like, no, we'll get you this. You'll like it. And then he ate like a quesadilla or something. And then I was like, try one of these, dude. And he was like, what is this? And I was like, you're gonna love it. And he's like, oh yeah, dude. He's like, can I have another one? Can I have another one? Can I have another one? And I'm like,
you could have a bag full of them.
Yeah.
$5.
Yeah, you get like a popcorn bag full.
Yeah, dude.
But no, like we, rarely sodas. Like there's a lot of things we just don't do anymore. Like every now and then I'll have like a bourbon and soda or something, but like I won't like.
I'm not a big soda drinker either, man. And I don't drink like energy drinks much anymore.
Dude, that's another hard one for me.
Gotta get rid of that stuff too.
I know. I've really cut back. So it was like every day. Like there was a point in time where I didn't have any, and then I started working at that warehouse job.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I had to be there at 3:30, and I wouldn't get off till like 8. Horrible. It was a rough job, but I was like, just to get by, like just squeak through, dude. That's how hard it was. It was rough, and then I'd go home feeling sick. So left that, and then now, I'm like, for a while there it was like every day. I'm like, that's not good for you. And I'd buy like healthier ones, right? I wasn't drinking like normal Monsters or normal Rock Stars, whatever. I'd find like an organic one,
Celsius or whatever. Those are pretty good.
Yeah, so I was doing. There's an organic Rockstar.
Oh yeah, I've seen those in like the brown can or whatever.
Yeah, and they're pretty good. What was I buying that was like? It made me like want to stop drinking energy drinks for a little bit. So like that's not normal, but it was like, damn, I'm trying to think what it was. I'm still a sucker for. Mountain Dew has an energy drink. It's not the Amped. It's a different one, and it's like better. Right, I couldn't tell you. I have an app on my phone actually. I can scan barcodes and like figure out how bad it is for you. But I haven't scanned that.
You don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't want to know. But I'm like, dude, like I feel like, and I'll have my coffee in the mornings and stuff. And then I've been doing some On It stuff for lunch. That's when I'll take my vitamin at lunch. And then I'm like, when I started doing that consistently, I'm like, oh. And that, dude, what's funny is more water will oddly help.
Yeah, and I like the B complex, man, especially from On It, the methylated B complex. Like if you need energy,
yeah, and
it's just like B vitamins are like help. I think like synthesize the energy process.
Yeah,
like,
and I think that's the one I have.
Yeah, dude, B complex.
And so I've been buying that, and that like staying on that stuff consistently. I'm like, oh yeah, and then just more water. I'm like, okay. But like some days I'm like, dude, like I had one. I think I had one yesterday, and I didn't have one today. But like that's what's funny is like the days I think are gonna be hard, I don't feel like I need one. Like when I'm up at 4:30 and all over the state pretty much, driving around doing jobs, and I'm like, oh yeah, and then here we are, whatever time that clock says now. But I don't feel like tired, but I feel like it's like the slow days. I'm just like, dude, I need an energy drink. But I gotta stop. That's not good. That's like my one thing. Like smoking was my thing, and I was like, that's not good. But I'm like, I'm buying the healthier cigarettes, right? And then
there's always like an excuse, right? Like,
there
is
is
what people do.
Yeah,
Like,
and then I was like, oh, I'm stop smoking cigarettes. Started buying those little electronic ones, and
then you like smoke like 5 of those. Like it just becomes worse.
Yeah, and yeah, cigarettes like we were talking about. Cigarettes, I'm like, nah, I'll have one. Rarely now, maybe one a month. But like, dude, every now and then I'm like, dude, those little electronic ones, like right now, I could probably kill one tonight. But we don't have one, so that's what it is. But okay, we'll get past health. Actually,
there we go, dude. We just talked about fast food for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
we'll be here forever.
I know.
It'll be like 2 a.m. We'll be leaving.
I know. We'll change that clock on our next break. But we'll go into what were we? Oh, we're gonna get into some weird stuff after this, right?
Yeah. What were your prepped questions?
I don't prep anything.
Yeah, just let it fly.
Yeah.
What do you like? Do you have like standard questions? Or I ask people like, hey, let's get on this subject.
I have a question at the end, like a standard question at the end.
Okay.
But it's like deep, not deep, but like.
So what's the meaning of life?
No, it's cooler than that, but it's good. It's a good question. But that's at the end. Phoenix Lights.
Oh yeah, dude.
Were you there for that?
No, that was like in the 90s, man.
Was it?
Yeah,
I thought it was recently.
No, Phoenix Lights was a long time. It was in the 90s, but it is a very well documented. Matter of fact, it's pretty interesting. So, like Phoenix Metro is massive, dude. It's like it's huge, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Obviously, you've been there, and it's just continuing to grow. Like it's insane. But so it's kind of like they always divide it between like the east side and the west side. So I live in the West Valley, which is like the Scottsdale. All the really nice places are in the East Valley.
Yeah.
But I live in the West Valley. Matter of fact, like the mountains, like, and I live in Avondale, which you know because you used to be there.
Yeah.
I guess the Phoenix Lights were behind the mountains in Avondale.
Really?
Like by my house. So yes.
Really? I thought it was more north, like north of Phoenix.
I don't think so. I think it was like in south, like the South Phoenix is from my understanding.
Dude.
I could be wrong. You can fact check me, and I'm probably wrong, but to my knowledge, that's what it was.
Business of fact checking.
UFOs, dude. Had to have been. No excuse.
Did you watch that movie?
Oh, the crappy one? Phoenix Lights?
Is that what it's called?
I did watch one that was like a super like B-list movie. Like it was definitely like not great. Is it like where the kids go out in the mountains like looking like experimenting or whatever and like it's kind of like first person camera?
Maybe that was it. I don't remember it being very good, but I remember like, dude, like some of the stuff though, some of the points that were made, you're like,
that's spooky. I don't know, dude. I think there's a lot of weird UFO stuff coming out now, and that's like, I think, I don't know. So I'm like super caught up about it because like, I think there is some good footage that's like very weird. There's a lot of weird things, weird budgets. Like there's a lot of weird factual evidence of like UFOs and like very strange things. But at the same time, like I think we live in an age like, don't you think there would be better like somebody would have caught something. Like somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Like Bob Lazar, right? Like this crazy UFO guy. Like, he has these crazy stories of what he saw and worked on. Like, don't you think there would be either more people or he'd have like some hard evidence or like I want to believe the dude, but it's at the same time I'm like I'm a huge like UFO believer and I do believe in aliens and all that weird stuff. But I'm like I just like I feel like we just need like. Either it's locked away somewhere or there's like something weird like but I feel like those things would be so hard to cover up, dude. Like how could you like how would all these people be involved in this thing and like nothing would happen? Like where it's like just weird stories or like he said she said stories. Like dude, guys in the Air Force have weird stories like that too. Like at McGuire, there's like a base in New Jersey that apparently a dude in like I think the 80s or 90s like said he killed an alien. Like there's like documented he like wrote a book about it and everything and like people who are stationed at McGuire always have like that weird story. Supposedly this like flying saucer was like flying around the base, landed on the flight line, the MPs like or security forces guys went to go check it out, chased this alien through the woods. This dude shot and killed it. He said it smelled like ammonia, the alien blood smelled like ammonia, and then hours later a bunch of planes flew in from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio cleaned everything up. Those planes took off, did whatever they did, and then everyone who was involved, like, all got orders elsewhere.
Huh.
Like, but those are all stories, right? Like, don't you think they're, like...
Dude, that's the thing.
I don't know, dude.
Stories are hard.
Yeah.
Stories are hard. Because they're stories.
Ghosts, same thing. Like, I have family who have, like... I've never had, like, a crazy, like, supernatural story. Mm-hmm. Like, I've had some, maybe, like, small weird things. But I have, like, family who have had, like, some very strange experiences. Like, and supposedly, like, my grandma's house that, like, my dad was in, and, like, my mom used to live there. Like, they had, like, weird... There's, like... My family has, like, weird stories about that house. And so, like, there are people, obviously, like, I believe, like... You know, I would believe anything they tell me, you know, and I trust them. But at the same time, it's just like, man, I just, like...
I would like to know.
I just want that, like...
Yeah.
I just want that, like, oh, shit moment where you're just like, yup. Like,
yeah.
All right, dude.
Like, lived it?
Like, yup, like, happened to me, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never had that. I mean, I've had other things. Like, sleep paralysis and, like, sketchy stuff like that.
Yeah.
But nothing like that. Which they do the first time that happened.
Oh, sleep paralysis? I'm super into, like, lucid dreaming and stuff like that, so I've, like, read books and, like, so I know about sleep paralysis.
Dude, no joke.
Did you see something weird?
Oh, yeah.
Would you see a lady?
I couldn't
monster?
Tell you.
Demon?
Yeah, I think so.
Like a demon type thing?
Mm-hmm. So I think, I couldn't tell you the first time it happened. First time it happened... Oh, I was here. This was quite a while. I mean, whoa. Now I'm thinking about it, it's a while back. Still living with mom and dad. Mm-hmm. In the other room. And I remember, like, in my dream, before I woke up, because it's like you're awake.
Yeah.
And before I woke up, I heard, like, and then it got louder and louder and louder and louder. And it was, like, bassy, more bassy, more bassy. And then I woke up, and, dude. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it again.
Yeah.
And I open my eyes, and I'm laying on my back, right, because I sleep on my back. And I open my eyes, and it's right, like, standing right next to me.
No, dude.
And I was just like, okay. In my head, I'm like, I don't know what this is. I could be dreaming. But then I'm like, I'm not dreaming.
Yeah.
I'm awake right now. I'm awake. So I was like, okay, curiosity, I want to see what this is. Try and turn my head, and I can't move. And, like, I can't turn to look at whatever this is. And so I go, okay. And me being, I was probably a little younger, and I was so scared, but I was like, I gotta know. And it just started off, like, at the door. I could see it there. And then I was like, okay, I'm dreaming, whatever. I didn't know what this was. And so, closed my eyes, and I'm like, I'm dreaming, whatever, blah, blah. And then opened my eyes again, and it was a little closer. So I'm like, oh, gosh, dude. I was like, are you serious? Like, I'm awake. Like, I think I'm awake. So I did that a couple times, and it kept getting closer, and, like, the noise, like, I would hear the steps. And then I opened my eyes, and it was closer, and then finally, dude, it was, like, close. And I just remember, like, crying and praying myself to sleep. And I was like, and I woke up, and I was like, oh. And then nothing ever happened after that. Yeah. And then probably years later, I was at Grandma and Grandpa's. And their couch faces, like, the front door. Like, the light from the patio or the porch comes in through the little glass. There's a front door, and then, like, there's their hallway. And the couch, like, parallel with the hallway, kind of. And same thing. They have the wood floors. I heard that. And it woke me up, and I was in the light. Like, here's the light from the glass. It was in the light. And this time I was like, oh, no. I'm going to see exactly what this is. I was way less scared because I was a little older. And I remember, dude, I couldn't breathe. And I could, like, I was laying down, but I could move my eyes, and I could see it. And I was trying to sit up to, like, get a good look. And I fought, dude, to sit up. I could breathe. And then when I would finally, like, get up, it would be gone. And I was like, dang it. And it happened, like, 2 or 3 times that night.
Yeah, so I think sleep paralysis, like, I don't think it's, like, truly supernatural.
I don't think so.
So what happens is, like, you know, if you know anything about, like, lucid dreaming, it's when you kind of, like, take control of your dreams. So what happens is, like, you have your 4 cycles of sleep, and when you fall asleep, your body has to send signals to your mind sends signals to your body to pretty much turn off, otherwise you would act your dreams out. And so it's pretty natural, so, like, that's why your paralysis comes from your body's asleep. Like, your brain's like, hey, I'm going to turn you off. Yeah. But your brain never stops thinking. So what ends up happening with sleep paralysis, and so, like, the same process people use for lucid dreaming is you essentially let your body fall asleep and you keep your mind awake. And if you've ever had a lucid dream, like, dude, it's very strange. Like, But what happens is your body will fall asleep. You'll become conscious, semi-conscious, but you're still in like a dream state. And so the human body, whenever you feel that like your body's not, you have no control of your body, it's like instant fear. And so like that sleep paralysis, like the sleep paralysis demon or monster or whatever people talk about, it's like especially like you're like your brain is like in a dream state, and but you are like you can be like quasi awake, right? Like you're in between. So like, but then you have no control of your body, so it's like utter panic.
Yeah.
So like your dream brain comes up with like, let me produce something scary, because like your body's like, oh dude, I can't move.
Full panic mode.
I'm panicking.
Yeah.
Like, and so I think that's like where sleep paralysis comes from. And I haven't had like sleep paralysis per se, but I've had like where I'm trying to make myself like lucid dream or fall asleep. Like I've had where I'm in between, I'm like falling asleep and like losing control of my body. And I've had where like I've been, and this is as an adult, like, but I know what it is, so it doesn't like scare me. I'm just like, oh, that sucked. But I've been like in my bed, and I remember just like, and this was like a year or two ago, not very long. So I'm laying there, and I just see this thing in like the corner of the room, and it like swoops in over me. Like I see it past my dresser, and just like comes up and just like right in my face. And then like I come to like out of my like weird sleep state, and my heart's like pounding, and I'm just like, yo, that sucked. Like that was awful. And then I'm like, you know, I knew it wasn't real, but like it was still like, oh my god, dude, that was terrible.
I fairly recently started taking like dinner time. I've been taking them. It's like I forget the name of it, but it's like 3 mushrooms, like lion's mane.
Oh yeah, like Life Cycle. You ever like use Life Cycle's pretty good too.
Yeah, and my buddy's like, dude, if you like, cause we were just specifically talking about lion's mane, and cause I was talking about alpha brain, and he's like, dude, try this. He's like, I bet you it's cheaper than that stuff. And I'm like, okay. So then I found this other one, and I was like, it has the 3, and I was like, okay, I'll try that first. And he's like, I don't know how like strong those ones are. He's like, but lion's mane, he's like, if you take it before bed, he's like, you're gonna have some weird dreams. Yeah,
you have vivid dreams.
Yeah.
And reishi mushroom too. So if you take reishi, like that's that. I bought like a tincture set, and it's like I take lion's mane and reishi before bed sometimes, dude. And like you have like super vivid dreams.
Yeah. And see, I haven't, and that's one of them. And but I haven't, like, it's like 20 minutes before you eat, or what. It doesn't say what meal. It just says 20 minutes before you eat. But I've been taking it at dinner because I forget in the mornings, and then that's why I have my other on it, and then my multivitamin in the truck. Cause it's like, oh shoot, my pills, and I'll get my. But I leave that here because Anna wants to start taking it too. But he's like, yeah, you might have some weird dreams if you take it at night. So I was like, dinner time. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm not worried about it. But nothing's ever happened yet. But he's like, it'll happen. I'm like, okay. I'm like, dude.
I don't know, man. I'll send you a link at like the ones that I take, and I for sure when I take them, like I get super vivid dreams.
Yeah.
And then you wake up. I'm super into dreaming.
Yeah.
So like dream journals and stuff, like weird stuff. Like,
sick.
But do you have like normal dreams?
What do you mean normal?
So like, do you believe in like dreams mean stuff or whatever? Or like, hey, you get messages in your sleep or whatever. Like, what's your take?
I think yes, but I don't think I've had one that meant like. I just have weird dreams.
Yeah, so I'm the same way, dude. Like some people are like.
No, I just answered my own. Your question.
Yeah,
I feel like how would that mean anything?
Yeah,
type stuff.
So like this is my take on it, right? Like everyone has their own opinion. Like one, if you do any research, like people still don't know what dreams are.
Yeah.
Or where they come from. Like your brain just like produces ridiculous stuff. People think that it's like your brain filing memories away, like and pulling up old ones and reflecting or whatever. But like. But you meet people like, oh, I had this dream and I was just walking through the field of flowers and I think it means that I'm supposed to take this job and I think it's God or whatever you want to say, like it's coming to me through a dream, like good for you. Yeah. But I don't think that at all, dude, because I have like stupid dreams, bro. And I like look through my dream journal sometimes and read some of these dreams that I had. Like, bro, I have like ridiculous dreams that are utterly meaningless. Like, I had a dream, like, I was just, like, sitting at a table, and somebody served me, like, a giant snail. Like, the snail was, like, the size of a watermelon. And it was just like, here, eat up. And I'm just, like, looking at this snail,
what
like,
am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, what the hell, bro? Dude. Like, but I think, like, the one thing I will say is, like, I don't think their message is, like, oh, somebody's trying to tell you something, or from the other side, or whatever you want to believe. But, like, I really think it's, like, maybe the most deep that you could get with dreams was to say that like maybe it's your subconscious like either expressing like fears you have or like maybe things like you don't want to deal with yourself, like it's when you're sleeping like that filters off, so it's kind of like hey, like I know why I couldn't sleep last night because I'm stressed about XYZ or whatever.
I
but
can
like
see that.
by no means am I like it just means I gotta take that job. Like, no, dude, I was like got served a giant snail the size of a watermelon, bro. It's literally just
But I feel like there was a reason you got served that snail. That's
not me, dude. I'm just like, no.
Well, not me. I'm saying that's what might have been said.
Yeah,
that's the reason it was a snail.
You know, it was a snail.
You know that Dane Cook bit?
Oh, I haven't seen that though.
You haven't? About the crab on the beach? Oh my gosh, dude. I don't want to see it out here.
But I definitely have like the most ridiculous dreams that are like utter nonsense.
Yeah.
Like stuff I think about, like I wake up in the morning and I was like, why in the world would I dream that? Like, or dream about like being at somebody's house that I haven't even talked to or whatever. Or it's just like, but I do dream about like things throughout my day. Like if I randomly, like if you text me, right? Like, like maybe that night I have a dream and like you're involved some form of fashion.
Yeah, I can see that. I'd say more often than not, I have not scary dreams, not nightmares. But I'm like, that was a little much, right? Like I was just like dumping someone because they like attacked wherever I'm at or something. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Or
that's how my like nightmares, like that's how mine are, right?
Yeah.
Like I get those ones like, oh, a clown's chasing me or there's a demon behind me and I wake up and I think it's like funny.
Yeah.
And just like, oh, this is a stupid dream. Like the ones that like really mess me up are like ones that are like real.
Yeah.
Like I'm like getting mugged with my family or carjacked or something.
Yeah.
And, like those are the ones that like actually scare me.
And then, dude, I had one when I was young that I still have not forgotten. There was like a Scottish dude, and I watched him kill like mom, dad, the brothers in the front yard here. And I saw it and I was like, what the heck? And then he started running for me and I started running for the back on this side of the house. And he had like a hatchet. And that's what he killed everyone with. And then, I don't know how to mute some words out. But, yeah, and then when he went to hit me, I woke up. And I was like, oh, that's not cool. Oh, who's that guy? This bearded redhead man killing my family. you know what I mean? I was like, that's so weird. But yeah, like, it's like ones like that I have probably more often than not. But yeah, dude, dreams are weird, and that's the thing. Like, I think I was talking to. I was just no joke before you got here. I was just telling Dad because he said, "Do you ever feel like?" How did he say it? I'm gonna mess it up. But he's like, "Do you ever amazed that you are you?" And I was like, I looked at I was like, what the heck is he talking about? He's like, that you're you. And I'm like, you mean like existing? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, consistently. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I just laughed the way he said it because I was like, I don't know what that means, right? But then after a couple questions, like, oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
But then we started talking about dreams. No joke. This is before you got here. And me and my buddy... I put him on who does my videos, the one I was telling you about, and we talk about that stuff, and it's like, I don't know where it got brought up or who brought it up, but someone brought up someone like of a status, said that's like, it could be, dreams could be you transferring over to an alternate dimension, a slightly different alternate dimension than you were in before, and like,
It's probably a stretch for me, man. In my opinion,
it is. But I'm like, I mean, I'm not saying that I believe that. But I'm like, dude, but dreams are so weird. I don't think that there's a way to do that.
Like somewhere, like in some place, like I'm just eating a giant watermelon-sized snail.
They're eating that snail. Dude, I mean, these are the questions, right?
I guess.
but the point is, I'm like, that's not the question. The question is like, why? But there's no real like. This is why, right? Everyone has a different like view and perspective of why you have the dreams that you have, and I will say some are way more easier to believe than others.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, you okay?
I don't know, man. I really just think your brain just takes in. I mean, you got to think everything you ever see or do or experience is processed in your brain somewhere. Maybe you can't recall it. You can't, but it's in there.
Yeah.
So I think that's literally just like your brain just hits like the randomize button and just like just And they say too, like your dreams, like every face you ever see in your dreams is a real one that you've seen somewhere. Like your brain won't make a face.
Do you remember faces?
In my dreams?
Yeah. Because I feel like that's very hard for me to do.
Yeah, and that's like super detailed, and I think like your brain when you're dreaming, you can't process like detail. And so that's like a thing with like lucid dreaming. They tell you to like in your dream, if you start to become aware, like look at your hands, because like you either have too many fingers or not enough fingers, or like your hands just won't look like your hands, because like that's like a super detailed thing. That's like kind of like, you know, you put your hands in front of you now, you'll see them, you'll be like, oh yeah, those are my hands. Yeah. But you do it in your dream, like you're like,
you'll know right away.
That was like right, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so you're like, oh cool, I'm definitely dreaming. Like,
yeah. Very good.
On you
do
go.
whatever you want.
Yeah, on you go, dude.
I remember one time I had too much alcohol. I think it was alcohol. And I was looking at my hands, and I was like, dude, my fingers are so long. I was like, why do I have such long fingers? I just told this story a few days ago, but I was like, alcohol is a poison.
It is, dude. That's how it works. It literally, it's a poison to your body.
Yeah.
But I think humans are meant to. That's like another interesting topic we can segue into. It's like, I'm like a firm believer that I think humans are like meant to be influenced, because I don't think like to live a straight sober lifestyle is like probably not normal. Because I think like I personally feel that like your body will always crave something, whether it's like caffeine or alcohol, or like I think it's just like if you get stuck in the sober way of living all the time, like to never be influenced by some form or fashion. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, like, why a lot of things exist on the planet that, like, that do. You know, like, weed just grows. Mushrooms just grow.
Yeah.
Like, crazy people make ayahuasca and they mix this root and that thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's, like, kava root. Like, there's, like, a lot of things that influence the human body. And I think, like... And this isn't even, like, crazy things. Yeah. These are just all natural things that exist.
Dude.
And booze is, like... The fermentation process, like, dude, like,
yeah, way worse.
So I really just feel like that it's like I think the human body and the human mind like needs to be like influenced in some form of fashion, like not necessarily all the time, but like,
yeah,
I think you do like to live like the same way all the time is like weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we were talking about, people change, times change, things change. Like you're not gonna stay the same. And usually with that, like the things that you might fiend for or crave change too. Because I'm like, when I was 17, I'm like, dude, I did it for a long time. Phone, wallet, cigarettes. Okay, we're good.
Like even cigarettes, man. Like even think of that's like a form of influence in your body.
100%.
You know,
dude, and that's a doozy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, how, like, you know, regardless of, like, the health consequences of any of this stuff, like, but I do think, like, the mind needs to be, like, expanded. And I think, like, I don't know. I think all this stuff...
I'm nervous for a lot of things.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, catch my drift?
Yeah.
Nervous to experiment.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily, like, it's meant for everybody. I mean, like, you said it yourself, like red cigarettes. Like, could you imagine your life with no cigarettes, no coffee, no energy drinks, no alcohol, like no form or fashion of influence? Like, it would be strange.
I think the hardest one would be like the easiest one, which would be like coffee, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not the hardest, because cigarettes are pretty hard. But, like, yeah, I feel like I would go like panic mode, like if I didn't have that. Like I would go buy coffee somewhere. Like I couldn't not.
Yeah, I think we're meant to do it.
Yeah.
I really do. You know what I mean? Like I think you're meant to like have that. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist.
What do you think the difference is between like that wanting like coffee or we'll say caffeine, nicotine, something like that, to the crazy far other end of like hard drugs?
But I think the problem is like some of these hard drugs are like, I mean, they're literally made for you to be, like they're made to influence you, right? Like they're synthetic, like not real, don't exist in nature. Like, can't be good for you, right?
Did you ever smoke spice?
What's that?
Spice?
Can't be good for you.
Did you ever have it?
Can't say I have.
Yeah, I got you.
Documented.
Yeah.
Can't say I have.
Yeah,
that can't be good for you.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Like,
that's not good for you. I think they were like doing like studies and it was like putting holes in people's brains. And I liked it. I did, dude. I didn't like. Never really cared for weed. I never like experimented with anything crazy. But dude, that stuff came out, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. And I'm like, dude, and it messed you up,
dude. But even then, like, what it existing in itself is one thing, but like you wanted to get out of your own head.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you wanted to be influenced.
Yeah,
and that's what I mean by like. Obviously, there's things that aren't good. Like, you're never going to convince me smoking meth is good for you.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but
I think the reason why meth is a problem or hard drugs are a problem or whatever it is like everyone handles things differently. But I think they desire to be like influenced some form or fashion.
I get what you're saying.
Like to trap your mind in like a utterly sober mindset. Like, and I mean sober in the sense of like. Things that influence you, like nicotine or caffeine or whatever it is. Like, there's so many things that influence you. Sugar. I don't know. Like, I think to trap your brain in that, like, you would go crazy. Like, people, like, I don't think you should do that. Like, I think you should. Like, I don't think people want that. Like, I think that's why people drink coffee. Like, that's why people smoke cigarettes. That's why people drink. Like, and even if it's a drink like you and I have had a few drinks tonight, like, that's not we're torn up or nothing. But like, in some form or fashion, are we not influenced?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's, like, human desire.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I said, you're not going to convince me, like, shooting heroin is, like, oh, it's all cool, dude. You're just influencing yourself. Like, no, you're doing hardcore drugs, buddy. Maybe you shouldn't do that.
No, I got
but
you.
I do think it's, like, I think it's in human nature to want to, like, do those things.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude. The I forgot what I was watching, but it was, like, human mind stuff. And, like, I'm trying to remember because I don't want to bring it up if I can't remember, like, the main point of it. But, like, your brain... There's obviously a point where it becomes fully developed, or
and that takes like that's like until you were like 25. They say for
something like that. Yeah. So there's that point, but then even like then, like it only like digresses from there, right? But like even that like fully developed isn't really 100%. Like you're at like a. I don't want to quote any numbers or anything because I don't know, but like I would say from. Off the top of my head, maybe less than 50? I don't know.
Oh, like how much brain power you actually use?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I think they say it's less than that.
Yeah. Like, I was going to say, like, somewhere significantly
I think it's significantly less than that from what I understand.
But I didn't want to, like, completely butcher it. But, like, I'm like, dude, like, where's that? How is that? Where's that at? How do we get there? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a weird thing, dude. Like, for one, how do you measure that? Like, obviously, like, brain activity, if you scan your brain and stuff. But is that how they measure that?
Dude, what's crazy, too, is, like, there's so much not known about the human brain.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible. Like, the science of that stuff is, like, dude, like, we know a lot, but there's so much we don't know. Like, and the crazy thing is, like, dude, there's nothing else like us.
Yeah.
Like, humans are far, far superior than to anything. Like, that's why, like, to get into, like, religious crazy stuff, like, that's why, like, nobody will ever convince me. Like, I grew up super Catholic, right? Like, and I think I still have, like, a lot of ingrained beliefs, too, and I still find, like, my faith in my own way. So that's, like, a super hard topic. And also, I'm definitely, like, a lot looser than I was when I was growing up, just because, like, I think you experience more in your life, and then you start to kind of, you develop, like, your own way of believing and thinking what you want to believe and think, which I think you should do.
Yeah.
But I'm still, like, one of my hardcore things is, like, and I like, my family's super religious. Like, my dad and my stepmom are, like, I fight with them just because it's fun, because they're just, like, hardcore. You know what I mean? Like, period, dot. Like, here it is. This is, if you don't believe this, like, you're wrong. Yeah. And so, like, I don't get down with that, because that's not how I believe, like, faith works, right? But, like, one of my hard set rules is, like, no matter what anyone tells me, I don't care if you're the smartest scientist in the world, like, you'll never convince me that, like, we weren't put here for a purpose, or... Like, because there is nothing like us, man. Like, what's the closest thing? Like, apes? Yeah. And it's like, dude, you and I are, like, sitting in a room, like, talking on a recording device powered by batteries. Yeah. Drinking out of ceramic mugs, and you have a computer there with... Like, dude, we are, like... Yeah. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, it's just like, oh, well, you just happen to develop better, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like... If that's the case, like, every other creature in nature is, like, down here and here, and then humans are, like yeah. There's nothing like us. Yeah.
And like, those, like you said, like, as you get older, like, with, whether it was super religious growing up,
I mean, you're probably like, I mean, you're probably the same way. You know what I mean?
And like you do like, I don't want to say pick and choose because if you're talking like that, like sometimes it is what it is. Sometimes it's not what it is, right? And that's harder for some people to see. But for something like that, like you said, some things like you can't tell me that. Like there's no way. Like you can say all these crazy dates and when this stuff happened, all this stuff, but I'm like, dude, there's no way. And maybe when I die, I'll be proved wrong, but I don't think so, right?
Yeah.
And then that's the thing also with a lot of things like, all right, how do you know? Oh, hey, this, and this, and this. Okay, well, how do you know? Okay, how do you know? And that's like how do you know?
Yeah, dude. Like I do the same thing, right? Like if you ever talk to somebody, it's like, oh well, you know, this happened and then this happened and then like they can explain. I mean, it's like the same thing ever. Like if you go to somebody who's like super sciencey, maybe an atheist or whatever, they'd be like, oh, you're dumb. That's not real. Faith isn't real. You're just existing or whatever they want to believe. Like they'll convince you that that's the case, and because like faith is faith. Like you do have to make a jump, and there is a leap of like, right? Somebody can say like, well, why? And I'm like, you know what? I don't know, dude. That's just what I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why is God? Who is God? What is God?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what, dude? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I can't prove it to you. I can't show you. Like, I don't know, but I know what I think. But then, like, they'll swear up and down that that's the way that it has to be and that's what it is. But then you talk to any scientist, man, like, asking the same thing, like, why?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, oh, the Big Bang happened. Well, why?
Yeah.
And then what happened before that?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, this. Like, how can you prove that the Big Bang was a real thing?
Yeah.
Same. That's a leap too, bro.
Yeah,
like that takes a faith in your own sense,
yeah.
bro. You just chose the science route, and I just chose like the religious route, you know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly what it is.
Because like, guess what? None of us know, bro. Like,
yeah,
none of us know.
That's the thing. And like, you couldn't like if you were like, this is here, check this out. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can kind of believe that now, but you can't do that.
Yeah,
you can't do that with a lot of things. Some things you can, but most things like in regards to not things crazy, but things just a little more, I don't know, controversial maybe. Like you'd really have to show me hard things, and no one can.
Yeah, like dinosaurs aren't real. Earth's only 5,000 years old.
Yeah.
Like I met people like that. Like Bible says Earth's 5,000 years. That's what it is. Like,
and it blows my mind that people wouldn't do any research before they talk at all, like at all. And I tell my buddy this all the time. Like I'm not a smart dude. Like some things I looked into, some things that intrigue me, I look into. Other things I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like I really don't care that much. Like you can think whatever you want. Like, I don't care. You're not gonna change my mind. You know, it is what it is. But I just don't care that much. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't. I was like, I'm too tired. Think whatever you want, dude.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna look into the reason why the Earth is on its axis, and that just proves that science is real and God's not real.
And I'm like, I don't really care that much. That'd be a waste of my time to put any research in that stuff. But then some things I'm like, oh, that intrigues me. I forgot what it was. Me and my buddy were talking about Atlantis and stuff. And like all this, we get into weird conversations like that.
I don't know if I believe in that one, man.
There's a lot of doozy things.
Like I could see maybe like some small cities that disappeared, but like they think that there's this like super mecha city that was like cutting edge technology. Like I don't know if I believe in that,
dude. And I don't know if I do, but it's like that'd be sick if there was.
Yeah, dude. So that's how I look at almost anything, man. Like instead of being like a super like I always have like my. That's why I told you like the hard rule of like you'll never convince me. I just exist. Like that's one of my like no, like you're not convincing me otherwise. Everything else though, I'm kind of like I'm always like this is what I think, X Y Z Y, but like you know what, maybe you know like I always remember like I'm not gonna look at you and go like you're stupid. Atlantis doesn't exist. Yeah, I'm just like I don't think I buy that. Yeah, but you know what. Maybe. Like, oh, Bigfoot's not real. Like, I don't think I believe in Bigfoot, but you know what?
It'd be kind of cool.
Maybe.
Why not?
Maybe he does.
Why
I don't
not?
know.
Yeah, dude, there's some weird ones. There's some funny ones, too.
Bigfoot, yes or no?
No.
Loch Ness Monster?
No.
Megalodon?
No.
Megalodon?
Okay, that was where I was kind of going with that.
Yeah, okay.
Is like, Loch Ness may be tied, something like that, to like a branch of something like that. I believe, yes, that I mean, dude, look at things they found now Like some things they found in the water are disgustingly huge. Like if
the ocean is so scary.
Okay,
bro.
I forgot who I was talking about this, but it's like we go this far down. What's this far down? What are you gonna find? Like we've only discovered like land. Maybe it's my buddy. We have a lot of odd conversations, very intriguing conversations. But it's like we've searched this much land, right? Not 100% of the land. We've searched a lot of the land, but we've searched like a handful of numbers of the ocean.
Yeah, it's like 30% of the ocean.
Yeah,
it's like the other we only like really mapped like 30% of the ocean or something.
Like, dude, we found some sketchy things in the water already.
I don't know if I believe in like a mega shark that's that big, because I think it'd be hard to provide food for something that large. But I do think there's probably some very strange things in the ocean.
So how big? Maybe I'm off on the actual size of.
I think Megalodon's like 50 feet, like a 50-foot shark.
I can see that.
50 foot?
Yeah.
A 50-foot shark?
I can see that. Dude,
dude, 50 feet's big.
But they're like consistently finding like 20+ footers.
Yeah, but a 20-foot like a 20-foot shark is like a massive great white shark.
Yeah, but it's consistent.
Yeah, but then you're gonna think double that. That's like saying like, hey, like hey, what's like an average human 6 foot? That's like saying, hey, like there's a 12-foot dude out there walking around somewhere.
Or
5'6",
5'6".
5'6", or
Well, that's an average. I heard that's pretty good.
I think we're 5'6".
But
you're 5'8", dude. Might as well
you're above average.
Yeah, you're an NBA at this point.
Sign up. But that's what I'm saying. But this is my thing with that. I don't think it was like there was a movie. Did you watch that movie, The Meg?
Yeah, of course they did.
Yeah,
terrible.
That's
great movie though, but it's a trash movie.
That was way bigger than 50 feet, right?
Oh yeah. Like, but I think a real megalodon's like 50 feet or so.
So how I would justify that thought would be like, dude, how poison is the water now compared to when that thing might have been alive?
I don't know. Ocean's
I don't
big.
know.
Ocean's big, dude. Have you ever been on like open ocean?
Heck no.
You've never been on like open ocean?
I'd rather jump out of planes.
Dude, I've been on like cruises to the Bahamas and stuff. And like, dude, like I remember I went on a cruise with some homies one time, and like I was hanging out with this girl at like 2 a.m. and we were out on the boat like on this cruise, and like nobody's out, it's quiet, like, and at this point like we're on this like little private like boat side, it's kind of quiet, and like I remember they have like these lights that shine out like kind of like towards the bottom of the boat, and bro, like I'm looking at this water as like this cruise ship's like banging through the ocean, and I was just like instantly terrified, bro. Like I was just like, dude, I'm getting like freaked out thinking about it, dude. Like really,
just scary.
Oh, dude, because it is just like vastness. Yeah. And then like you can't see, especially like the dark ocean like that. Like it just, oh, dude, like,
dude, you go to the beach during the day,
dude,
and you swim out far enough, like to where like you're past like a little bit of current that'll pull you back out, and like, dude, and it's quiet, and you're in the water and it's quiet at the beach, and you're like. I shouldn't be out this far, dude.
Yeah, dude, like, even surfing, like, with my old lady in Costa Rica and stuff, like, that's fun. Like, once I can't feel the bottom of the floor, like, I get a little bit uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But then, like, being on that cruise ship and just seeing the darkness of the water and just, like...
Dude, the fish have adapted to that.
Dude.
They have little lights on their faces.
Dude, we don't belong there. Like, that's, like...
No.
Like, if you saw, like, a fish, like, flopping around on land, like, here... outside your house, you'd be like, you don't belong here, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel in the water. It's
100%.
just like, bro, like, you do not belong here.
Dude. Yeah.
It's freaky, dude.
The ocean's very scary. I'm afraid of heights.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm afraid to, like, get on the roof of the house. I would. It's not like, I'm not, like, super scared, but, like, I'm trying to think of a good...
So they say that's a thing, right? Like, they say there's, like, people who are afraid of heights. Like, you're afraid of heights up to a point. And then they say, like, once you get to a certain point, like, you can't really interpret how high you are.
Yeah.
So it's like, you maybe on your house or on a 2-story building, you look down and you're, like, extremely uncomfortable. But if you were to, like, look off a skyscraper, you'd be like, whatever.
Well, yeah, like, when we're flying, I'm like, oh, doesn't bother me at all. I'm like, I could go, spacing it. Jumping out of a plane.
Skydiving?
Yeah, skydiving. I could go skydiving. Like, I really believe I wouldn't panic. I could jump out, it'd be fine, enjoy it 100%, but I'm like, dude, you get me, like, I'm trying to think the last time I was, like, nervous, like, looking down at something. I couldn't tell you when. It's probably been a while. But I'm like, oh, you know what? Small things catch me off guard. We were in Vegas with my uncle and auntie, and we were in one of the newer casinos, and they have like a spiral big staircase. And I was walking along the glass edge where you could just see like 3 stories down. It's like a little piece of glass that's separating you from that fall. And like knees locked, and I grabbed on it. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, out the corner of my eye, I didn't even look down. Out the corner of my eye, I saw how far down it was, and I buckled. I was like,
"What casino would that have been?"
It was
Cosmopolitan.
No, it was. I'm trying to think. It was new. You had to be 21 to be in there. Like, they check you at the door.
Ooh, gosh. I don't know. I just was in Vegas this summer, so.
Yeah, no. We stayed at the park, but this was. I'm trying to think. It was like near downtown.
Like Old Vegas?
Yes.
Oh, that I don't know.
Yeah, but there was like a couple. There was one maybe 10 minutes away, but the one we were at that was really nice. It was like new, and it was in like old school Vegas. Okay. It was nice, super nice. But they check you in, they check your ID at the door, no kids and everything, and Oliver was here. We went for the weekend to go see Aerosmith, and but yeah, like that, it caught me off guard. I'm like, dude, heck no. But like,
got, like super
the thought of like flying like planes or jumping out of a plane, I'm like, I could do that. That sounds like fun. But like that, I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna stay like 5 feet this way, and I'm good. Right?
Yeah.
But
I do have to pee though.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back, and then we'll get into some weird stuff.
All right.
Deal. Good time.
All right. Now that we take a piss.
Yeah. All right, we're back. Episode 11, Christmas special. I feel like we gotta do something Christmas. We got the hats.
I was gonna say I don't think we've talked anything. We started with Christmas and how I'm a Grinch, but I don't think we got into anything else.
No. We'll go into that first before we go into anything crazy.
Hit it.
Thank you to Anna for decorating and Mom for buying some stuff. It looks good. It looks cool on the camera. But did you guys do Santa?
Like growing up?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I did actually, and I remember. But I wasn't like super old when I stopped, and I kind of quasi remember when like I got told Santa wasn't real. Mm-hmm. It's like, I think my mom was still alive, man. So I was definitely younger than 8.
Yeah. And
I remember she pulled me into a room. She was like, "I gotta tell you, super secret." And I like got in her house, like barricaded the door with like pillows in her room, and she's like, "Santa's not real." And like I don't remember being like overly devastated. I remember just being like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah.
You Santa. But weird thing though is like I have like young siblings. You know, I have a 6-year-old sister and my brother's 13. Like, they're not Santa people whatsoever.
Wonder.
No Santa.
It's fading.
It's going away.
People aren't believing anymore these days.
Somewhere Santa's sleigh's not taking off, dude.
Yeah, dude. Just parked. No more magic dust,
done, dude. It's just like a car starting with a dead battery.
Dude, just no gas.
No bueno.
No nothing.
What about you? You Santa people?
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't tell you how old I was, but I remember being told, like, how or when. I think we were going to the store. It was like randomly. And I was like, I figured. Like, at that point, I was like, at a certain point, we're like, right. But, yeah, I couldn't tell you what age. But, like you said, I wasn't like, this can't be real.
Yeah.
Do you think that, this is going to sound crazy, but I need you to answer this. Do you think believing in Santa affected who you are as an adult?
No way, dude. Not at all. Absolutely not.
No?
No way.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, another one. Eggnog, yes or no?
With alcohol?
Just in general. With or without alcohol, just eggnog in general. What's your take?
As a seasonal drink?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm feeling froggy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rough.
I was that would be like, if I have eggnog, 99.9% chance like I'm shitting my pants in 30 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like, I drink eggnog and like my stomach just like it just spins, the cement mixer.
It's like, I think more for me it's like I gotta do it. Yeah.
Dude, and if I do, I'll taste somebody's like, here, you want some eggnog? And I'll like,
that's good.
Sure, I'm good. And it's funky.
Yeah.
But I can't say I hate it, but I just stay away from it because body doesn't like it much, dude.
No, I get that. I get that on a lot of things. But I'm like, dude, one time for Uncle Frank's, when was it by your pops? We had a Christmas party, And I was like, I'm gonna make some eggnog, right? I got it was a punch bowl. It was a big punch bowl of eggnog, and I bought a handle of spiced rum. So I don't know how much I need.
Oh no! Did you just handle it?
So quarter, stirred it, a little taste. I can't taste it. Half, stirred it. Yeah, you can't taste it. 3/4, stirred it, couldn't taste it. I was like, there's no way you're tasting this last quarter. Handled it.
Yeah.
And then couldn't taste it. And I was like, that's strange, right? So that's my only hook with like still like wanting eggnog. And people were like coming up to me like, did you make that eggnog? I'm like, yeah. They're like, what'd you put in that? And I was like, spiced rum. Is that what you're supposed to put? They're like, yeah. They're like, how much did you put it? And I was like, oh, a handle. They're like, what?
You got a frat party?
Yeah, dude. And people were getting messed up, and I'm like, I didn't snap because I wanted to taste it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was something about like that's like one thing. Maybe with age is like now like I'll drink less, but like I spend a little bit more money on my alcohol.
Yeah.
Granted, not stuff like this. This
Yeah.
is just hanging out, having it, whatever. But like if I'm sitting there drinking something, like I'll spend a little bit more money on bourbon now, and I'll just drink it like that. I'm not putting soda in or anything like that.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I just wanted to taste a little bit of it, and you couldn't, and it was dangerous, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, be careful with the eggnog. And there was like a warning label on it at that point because everyone kept telling everyone, try the eggnog. And after a while, they're like, be careful with the eggnog. And I was like, I didn't know. And I haven't made it since. Like just a little bit ago, maybe not today, but I was like, dang, I think I'll make some more of that stuff. But yeah, like a couple of little cups. I'm like, I'm good.
I'm not an eggnog person. What else is like? What's another Christmassy thing? Wrapping presents. Ooh, that's a good one for me. Like, what's your take on wrapping presents?
In what way?
Like, so for me, for instance, like I think wrapping presents is stupid.
Okay.
Like, so like, but my older sister, like loves Christmas. Oh, I got another one for you.
Okay.
I feel like you're on my podcast. You know, I got all the questions for you.
No, I like this. I like it.
No, but so like my older sister loves to go in the room and play Christmas music and wrap presents and pretty bows and like these things are like super perfect and like my family makes fun of me because I have like the going joke like you know when my presents I wrap because I just like
Yeah.
and I think it's funny and now I just shitty I'd like shitty wrap on purpose because I think it's crazy like they take these presents and put them under the tree and they like look cool and then like you just devour them instantly.
Throw it
so I
all
was like,
away.
well, why would you take all that time?
Yeah.
So what's your take on the presents? Are you like a bag person? Are you a wrapping person?
I'm more of a ask Anna to do it now.
Yeah. Okay.
But if I do, I have a little OCD about some things, and I'm not like doing it out of like enjoyment of like wrapping presents. Because I'm like I could take it or leave it, but I'm like it has to look good, or it will bother me every time I see it. I would rather not, but if I am, then it's gonna look nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's like I'm not about it, dude. I just like do it for fun. Next one.
Okay.
When is it acceptable to play Christmas music?
Oh gosh, not nearly as early as it is.
And do you like Christmas music?
I have a couple songs.
Yeah.
So that's a handful, maybe.
Yeah.
Dude, I would say honestly, like the week of. I could do like, you're talking like radio, hearing it out at places, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like what is it like? Okay, cool. Like yeah, it's tight. It's Christmas time. Christmas music. Like let it rip.
Christmas time's a little different. I would say for me, just like personal, I would say maybe the week of because it goes so hard. Everyone goes hard, and I'm like, dude, that's a little much because it's on in like September.
Dude, two things for me. It's like I'm like a 2-weeker. Like 2 weeks out, I get it. We're pretty close to Christmas. You probably already got gifts. You probably like the tree can go up earlier, but like if you like here's my hard rule. Like there's something wrong with you, and you deserve like shame. Like if you're playing Christmas music before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And my sister was like, she's like, oh my god, Christmas music. And it's like, you haven't had Thanksgiving yet? Like, if I had poop in my hand right now, I'd throw it at you.
Yeah, well, we did come from the so.
Like,
I'll say this.
makes me sick.
I have a Christmas song that I can listen to
It's like
year round.
I'm a Grinch, man. Like, I'm a huge Christmas dude.
But it's not really a Christmas song. It's not like
Yeah.
you don't hear it on the radio. I wouldn't think. I'm sure you would. Maybe you would at some radio stations. But it's the Eagles. It's not, I mean, it's like technically a Christmas song.
What else?
But-
What other Christmas things is there? Christmas music.
Dude, I don't know. Mistletoe. Where did that come from? Dude, did you know that holly was pokey? Like holly, like Christmas holly?
Yeah.
It's pokey.
Is it
It's
really?
pokey like a thorn.
Ew, gross.
Yeah. I got stabbed at work. I didn't know what it was. I ran into it. I bumped into it. And it poked me. I was like, what the heck? Yeah, it's like spiky. Like real, I mean, not the plastic ones you buy for like
Like
decorations.
real holly is like a bush of spikes.
Yeah.
Death bush.
Little thorns. You're like, what the heck?
Death bush.
I'm like, dang. Dang it. There's some stuff I can't say.
Yeah, I feel like you can go a lot with death bush.
Um,
Get into some weird stories about that.
no, not even that. Christmas stuff.
Christmas stuff.
No, I can't do that. There's some things. I'm gonna text myself this real quick. Holidays are hard. Most holidays are hard.
I don't know, man. I think Christmas is like the one that should be the funnest, but it becomes like very stressful. Then it doesn't need to. Oh, like what do you eat for Christmas? Like what's a Christmas meal for you guys?
Dude.
Would you get that like New Mexico style, like pozole and tamales and like all that good stuff?
Yeah. I would like. That was me.
Oh, did you text me?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my reminder.
Yeah.
I gotta say some weird stuff. But there are some things I would like more of, like for Thanksgiving. Like I really enjoy like liver and heart and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I wish there was more of that. Like we just had like a bowl of that. Like I love it. And this is a while back. I hadn't done it since, but because Anna had never had anything like that.
Oh yeah.
And so I went and bought some buffalo liver and pork liver, maybe. I can't remember. Should remember. And I did liver and onions.
I love liver. Oh, so good.
Dude, like I would love like
I can see how people think it's disgusting, but I like it.
Yeah,
Because it has that taste, and if you think that taste is disgusting, you're
Yeah.
gonna think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Dude, it's so good. And I'm like, I would love that. Like, I feel like, what would you want to add for a Christmas meal or something? I'm like, liver and onions. Like, I could eat like that. I could probably eat that pretty consistently. Or like chicken hearts. Like from Tucanos or something. Is that Tucanos? Yeah. That's the place you get them. But I mean, I know you can get them, but that's the last place I had them. But yeah, I do stuff like that. I love it. Just like weird stuff. And I always told the boys, like, if the band ever made it, like, I would go, like, just try the weirdest food. Like, whatever I could. What's your weirdest, like, local thing? Let me have it.
Oh yeah.
Do you have that?
I don't know, man. Like I guess I would eat like liver and stuff like that. Like that stuff I get down with. But like I can't say I've like in my travels I've had anything like super weird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, dude, we talk about this all the time at work. It's all right. If you could eat a human, would you? Like not like a survival like crazy. Like what if you went to some country and
Like, I just want to know what it tastes like?
well yeah, like what if you go somewhere and they're like, yeah, we got that. You could eat this human soup.
I don't think so.
You wouldn't do it?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think that'd be my line. Because there's some things now that I'm like, this really don't sound appealing. That probably are good. Like shark or something like that.
Like shark fin soup or whatever.
Yeah, I'm
It's
like,
just wrong. No, right,
it doesn't
yeah.
really sound good. Like, it doesn't really. Maybe it is. I don't know.
I'm doing it, dude.
But I'm like, you are?
I'm eating that human now.
Really?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm doing
it. What's your cut? Where you pulling meat from?
Oof.
Upper body, lower body?
Oh god. Maybe a good calf.
Calf?
Like your calf. Like I think you can get a good calves. Calves.
Calves?
How do you say calves? Calf.
I think
Or
like
like a peck of a fit person. You know, like a good hunk of meat there. You know.
I think you're picking. I think you want to chew on your meat for a while, then, right?
Well, what are you eating?
I think I would go like more thigh.
A thigh.
Yeah, like back of the thigh, because it's still soft.
But I feel like that's like your hamstring is like such a strong muscle. I feel like that'd be like a tough one.
Yeah, but you pull that stuff out, right? You're just talking meat. You're just talking like get that leg, baby, and then slap it.
No, like you would have it like prepped, right? I'd be like, hey,
Yeah.
eat our Tim leg soup. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude, the question is, how much would it cost?
I don't know, man. I couldn't imagine it'd be that expensive. Humans are probably gross, man. We eat so much crap, dude. It'd be disgusting.
Probably. Never mind. I was gonna say probably better for us. I don't think it'd be better for us. That's like mad cow disease and stuff like that. People like what is that, like cows eating cows and then we eat their brains and stuff when we get something? What is it, a disease? Have you heard about that?
Mad cow? I don't know where it comes from.
It's like something sketchy. But it's like some weird stuff. What's a disease that people get from like legit
eating
partaking
people?
in brains? Specifically. I'll have to look it up. I wish I was smarter, dude.
Dude, I'm not very smart either. I'm a pretty dumb dude.
But it's pretty weird. Looking at that. That one's weird. It's like something happens, like changes your complexity of your brain because you've had brain. It's weird. Science. But no, that's a good one though. If you could, would you?
I would. 100%.
What about like an endangered? I feel like I'd be more likely to have something like, because I'll say this. I feel like it'd be worse to have like an endangered species than would be a human.
I agree. Yeah, I think that would be hard. Like shark fin soup. Like I just see this like poor little shark floating down to the ocean like with his fins chopped off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I can't be a part of that. But I need to do something.
You take that cap though?
Yeah, I need that cap though.
Dude, what if that's like the next Christmas meal, dude?
Oh god. But I wouldn't. Even if it was the most like delicious meat ever, I don't think I would do it again. Yeah. I would just do it to just be like, I did it.
I had that guy.
Yeah.
What about horse?
Matter of fact, I do want to try horse. And I have a funny story because like one, I don't like horses because they kind of freak me out. Mm-hmm. And so I don't like horses. But I remember watching an episode of Dirty Jobs, and he had this episode. He was at a zoo, and I guess they feed lions horses, like horse meat, because like it's the most natural meat that they would get like in nature. Really? They can't eat like beef or whatever; it's too fatty. Yeah. So they were feeding this lion like horse meat, and I remember on that episode he had this like giant slab of horse, and I was like, bro, that looks delicious. And ever since then, I was like, I want to try horse. And matter of fact, I have a homie I worked with. He just went to Kazakhstan, I think, for a work trip. He was there for a month, and he's like, yeah, dude, I ate horse out there. And I was like so jealous.
Was it good? What do you say?
Yes, it was good.
I've had a few weird things.
What's weird? Like what's weird?
Snakes.
Yeah, I haven't eaten snake, but I'd eat snake.
Yeah, it's good. Me and Dad talked about this in the first podcast, like, oddly like chicken. Like a slightly...
I had frog legs and I had alligator. Frog legs were disgusting. It tastes like a stinky fish tank. Mm-hmm. And then alligator was oddly good. It was like sweet, and it was kind of like softer than chicken.
Yeah, so that's kind of like how snake is. I can relate it more to alligator than anything. But it's like, but it tastes more like chicken. It has like the texture of that. Like it's a little chewy, but you can still get through it. Yeah. It's not like a piece of beef jerky that you just chew on for like an hour. I had gator and that stuff in Georgia.
That's where I had it too.
Yeah, it's good. But I'm trying to think. Would you do like, and I would, and I'll say yes before I ask you, things like Rocky Mountain oysters?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Do like, and they said you don't like bugs. But like, we did, we still have to do it. The brothers have to do this. We did this challenge, and it was like, we did it was a week-long bracket series of like the weirdest things that we would eat on a live stream. And I think like, the two that won were like, they're freeze-dried, I believe. One of them's freeze-dried, I don't know what the other one is, but it's a black scorpion and a tarantula.
I couldn't do it, dude. Couldn't do it.
I think I could. Good like Fear Factor stuff.
I couldn't do it, dude.
I've prepared my whole life. I think I could. How about like, this is a controversial one.
Oh, let's go there.
Eagle.
An eagle?
Yeah.
I guess I would be under the circumstances of I wouldn't shoot and kill an eagle and eat it.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't order it.
It's like one of those.
I can't say I wouldn't do it, but I would be pretty particular on how it was done.
Came to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess in reality, like if you're starving, you'll eat anything. So.
Yeah. Like a person's.
I wouldn't do that. I would just do that for funsies.
Just say you did.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm trying to think. You got me into this weird food thing now.
See, we were supposed to start with like
Christmas stuff, and now
we went to Christmas stuff. We were supposed to do like conspiracy theories.
You had what is it? A mustard pickled egg?
No, I hate mustard,
dude. It's so good.
Oh,
it's so good.
I hate mustard, dude.
You had a pickled egg?
I think I've had a pickled egg.
even those two. Dude, I could eat like I saw this funny video. It was like, do you want a quarter pound of cheese, like just to munch on real quick? And the guy's like, what? No. Like, do you want me to cut it up in little pieces and deep fry it for you? He's like, yeah, totally. It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
But like, dude, that's kind of like how that was. For me, that food is like, do you want 8 eggs? I'm like, no, I don't feel like 8 eggs. But like, do you want
8 pickled eggs.
Well, no, deviled eggs.
Oh, deviled
I
eggs.
can munch deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs.
It's a weird one. Dude, what's that disease you can get from sushi? Like bad sushi?
I don't know.
Or something.
I'm not a huge. My girlfriend like is a freak about sushi, so she like loves sushi. And it's always like, where do you want to go eat? She's like, sushi.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like, ugh, because like my thing is like, I eat sushi like once a quarter, and I'm like, kind of
Pretty good. Yeah.
And she's just like sushi. And I also don't eat shellfish, so like.
Any?
No.
Allergic or just no?
No, dude, I have a bad story, man. So I always thought it was like weird.
Okay.
Like, this is a good podcast story because like everyone's always like, oh, they're like, oh, you don't eat shellfish. I'm like, no, I don't eat shellfish. And like I used to, right? Like as a kid, I'd like eat it, and I always like would eat shrimp, and you'd see that gross black line in the shrimp if they're not like prepared properly.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was weird. And then so I was kind of like leery as I got older, and then when I was in EOD school, one of my homies is from Maryland, and he's like, yo, come to my house. I'm making crabs, man. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I go to his house. I already kind of know it's weird. And, dude, he has these crabs, and he's, like, preparing them. And I'm just, like, kind of freaked out. And he just throws them in, boils them up. And, dude, he, like, cracked the shell, like, off this crab. And I saw the innards of a crab. And then he, like, pulls out this crab meat. And he's like, right, this dude's like a Maryland boy, right? Like, he's about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, it'd be us talking about, like, green chili. We're like, yo, like, this is what we do.
We know exactly what to do.
Yeah, like, so he, like, and he's like, oh, cool, check it out. And then he's like, eat this. And I'm, like, eating it. And he's like, yeah, you see all that yellow stuff? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's their shit. And he's like, yeah, it tastes like mustard. And I'm just like, and bro, like, if you ever Google it, like, Google the inside, like a crab's organs.
Yeah.
Like, dude. And that I would like never forget it, and that was my moment where I was like, I'm done.
Dang.
And so like no shrimp, no crab, no lobster, like, and then now that I don't eat that, like every time I see it, I'm just like, bro, that's like just a big bug.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
If so, you're like eat it. Like, do you know like lobster and crab or like lobster and cockroaches share like most of their DNA? Like they're
crustaceans.
They're pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
And like for me, like by all means, I get it, dude. Like eat it.
The bugs of the sea.
Dude, but for me, that's what I call them. I call them like they're sea bugs, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, I don't do it. No
Dude,
way.
that's like how people become like vegetarians.
Yeah, I get it. Like,
right?
Yeah, I get it.
Kind of the same way.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna get like goosebumps thinking
you
about
see
it.
something happens, and you're like, no, I'm good.
I'm done.
But not me. I could probably eat something. I mean, I couldn't tell you the last time I had like crab or lobster where I saw like the crab or lobster, but I'll tell you what.
Crab legs.
No, not even that.
Lobster tail.
No, not even that. A lobster roll.
Yeah.
I
get down with it.
Yeah. Like I don't like I'm too impatient for the tails or a full thing. I'm like, this sucks. It's like piñón. Right?
There's another one.
I love it. But I'm like, I'm not gonna sit there all day for 5 pieces. Like it bugs me, so I don't do it.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Like I'm like I need hardiness.
I'm like, if it comes like shelled, you know what I mean? I'll munch it. But I'm like, and that's the same thing for like crabs or like any tails like that. I'm like, I'm good. I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's really good, but I'm too impatient. I just want to eat my food. I don't want to have to dissect it first. But I mean, maybe there are some things that I enjoy that I have to do that. But for the most part, it's like, yeah, that's wasting my time.
Yeah,
I'm good. Maybe good, but who knows? Okay, back to conspiracies.
Oh God, we gonna get back on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think there is alternate dimensions?
I do. Yeah. I don't necessarily think that like maybe they're like Rick and Morty or whatever. Like, hey, there's like
transferable.
Well, I don't think necessarily like there's a somewhere in a weird place there is a place where I am sitting down and eating a
snail,
giant snail.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that, but I think like there probably is some like different planes that we don't comprehend with our brains because it's like more than we can understand.
Yeah.
And I think God is like an interdimensional being who can see everything. Because he's like a higher state than us, I guess you can say. What about you?
Kind of tied. I don't know enough. I haven't looked into it enough. But, I mean, it'd be cool to have hard facts. But, I mean, where would you get those? But I had seen it when it first came out, and I rewatched it again because Anna hadn't seen it. And I remember it being really good. Interstellar.
I just watched that not so long ago.
Yeah. We rewatched it, and I'm like, killer, right? But it's like that. I could watch that movie, and it's like when they're they first go away, so they leave. Black hole, past that, now they're trying to find the other things, and they're going, okay, let's go to this planet. When we go for an hour, it's like years.
Oh, time dilation?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So that's like, gives me a headache.
That's real too, man. That's another strange one.
But that's real.
Yeah, that is
like
real.
That can be proved. Not necessarily like that be proved, but like simple versions of it can be proved.
Yeah, ooh, that's a good one. I definitely find myself. I think those are all things that like beyond our comprehension.
Yeah.
But you can kind of dabble.
Yeah.
But I'm in the same boat as you. Is like, I speak on personal feelings, and I'm by no means a scientist. So.
Yeah. But I forgot what again, buddy, we're talking about that in specific, and he said there's something that we can do like now, like right now, to prove that happens. And I forgot what it was. I'm like, you serious? He's like, yeah, 100%. It's like not like years.
Oh,
where,
like
where you
like microseconds or something. Like,
yeah,
like atomic
it's
states or something.
Yeah, it's like small, but it's like it proves. Yeah, this does happen, but like maybe somewhere out there. It becomes like minutes, become days, become months, become, you know what I mean? But I don't know. But it's kind of crazy to think about like that. I feel like that'd be the worst.
Ooh, I got one for you.
Okay.
Time travel.
Do I believe it's real?
Yeah.
Or do I believe that we can't? That we will?
Either one.
There's a picture of that guy with the phone. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah, or like the guy at the Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah.
Or like the guy at JFK guy or whatever.
Yeah. I'll say there are some strange things that would make someone maybe believe, yes, there has been or is. But like I said, I'm not that smart. I don't know.
I don't think so, man. I don't believe in time travel.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think so because he would just create like crazy paradoxes that would just like in that. I think the butterfly effect would be too real.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I mean, I think you do like one single thing, like the impacts of like it would just cause so much damage.
Yeah.
Like to the timeline that I don't find myself believing time travel is possible.
And so that's what, again, like we're having the same conversations that my buddy have had. So like let's say there's a funny video where these guys built a time machine in their washer and dryer. Have you seen that video?
Mm-mm.
Okay. And they go back and kill a certain dictator, and it's a funny video. I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's like we talked about that. Like, what if it is created, right? People who created it say, okay, I want to go back and I want to fix this because this was a horrible thing that happened in human history, right? I want to go back and I want to fix that. But I was like, but like it's like hard times and struggles creates ingenuity, and people most of the time I would say thrive off of maybe negative things happening or a certain thing that happened to them in their lives that they like, I never want that to happen again, so they improve themselves, right? So what if you go back and you fix something that might have been horrible for the history books that changed the next generation's lives because they never wanted that to happen again, or it changes everything.
Oh yeah,
that's what
I'm saying. Like that's why I don't believe in it. Like
yeah.
that's like in a complex term of like, what if you take out this dude? But like I think even in a simple term, dude's like you couldn't time travel and go like, hey, let's stop at the gas station and grab a drink. And it's like, okay, cool. So you grab the drink, you grab the last energy drink off the fridge. Then the guy who usually comes home from work needs his energy drink, doesn't get it.
Then
so it feels like doesn't feel good. And then maybe he doesn't, he's all upset because they don't have his energy drink. Decides to grab a beer instead. goes home. His wife, he's an alcoholic. His wife sees his beer, gets mad. They get in a fight. They get a divorce. That's the last straw. Never have a kid. That kid was supposed to. You know what I mean? Like, that's something as stupid and simple as like just grabbing a drink.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine like you didn't open the door for that person, or you bumped into somebody? Like, I think any like little move that you would ever make, like the impacts of it down the road could be like.
Because it would just grow.
Yeah, you would just like, that's what I'm saying. It's like the butterfly flap.
Yeah.
Like what they say is like the butterfly flaps its wings, and like next thing you know, like the world's torn apart.
Yeah.
Like I think that would happen.
Yeah.
And then you get into like a weird paradox, right? So like let's say energy drink story, kid's never born because his dad showed up with a beer and his wife saw it and got mad. That kid is supposed to create this part in the time machine. Now the time machine never exists. That person was never able to go back in time and take the energy drink off the shelf. So it's you just end up with this like hodgepodge of non-existence. But I'm also not a scientist. I'm
how that would work.
just a dude.
Yeah. Just a couple guys wearing some.
This is a Santa hat, dude.
You get some Santa cups.
Talking about absolutely nonsense for 2 hours.
Dude, yeah, no. I'll apologize to everyone who's watched the first hour and 40-some minutes. It was a little chaotic. But how long's it been? Years. Who cares? I'm catching up, telling stories. But I'm trying to think of some other funny ones.
Ooh, JFK assassination? Ooh.
Doozy.
That's a good one, dude.
That's a doozy.
Yeah. I think that the CIA did it. And I think like there was just a handful of people that took orders from Lyndon Johnson. And he told them to make it happen, and I think like a handful of dudes did it.
What about... Oh, dude, I'm spacing. I guess I wish I was smarter. I have better memory. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, you think Hitler died?
No.
You think he went to Argentina?
Yeah. He had to have. That's a woman's skull. I know that one.
Oh, did you watch that shit? Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
I don't know, dude.
That's a tough one, though.
Dude, that one is like... I don't know. That's one where I go like... Dude, I just don't know.
I don't know. But
I'm on... Like, how could I say? I'm like on the fence, we'll say.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm just
I
kind of
don't
like,
know. Like, and I'll say this. No, I'm not going to say that. I don't know. But some things said on both ends make valid points. Yeah. And I can say that 100%. Both sides make valid points. I'm like, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
What do you think, though? If you had $5 to gamble, where would you put it?
That he made it out.
Think so?
No, I'm asking like that he didn't kill himself.
Yeah, and he made it out, fled to Argentina or something. I think that's what they.
I would put my money on him making it out. I wouldn't say where. I don't know where, but I've put money on him him making it out.
Oh, what's another one? So
but dude, that area though, it's like sketchy now. I mean, like in regards to, because what ethnicity do you think of when you think of that?
Of what?
Argentina.
Argentina?
Yeah. Like not German people.
Yeah, but there's a ton of them there. That was a fact that like a lot of people fled. Nazis fled to Argentina. Mm-hmm. The question is like, do you think Hitler made it out and like whipped it down there?
I don't know about that, but I don't think that he killed himself. I mean, it's a fact that they were there or are there.
Ooh.
But I don't know if he was there. What?
Do you think Epstein killed himself?
No.
No way. No way,
no.
Dude. The cameras malfunctioned on that moment when he went.
No.
Sure, bud.
What was the president who went and saw the alien? Have you heard that one?
No.
Oh, dude.
There's supposedly a president that met an alien?
Mm-hmm. Dead alien.
A dead alien?
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of this one.
Like legit.
Roswell? Do you think Roswell was an alien crash?
I don't know. Never really looked into it. We live here, but I never really.
I have no idea.
I've seen like the little figurines and stuff. So I'm like, I want a little wood one.
It's a terrorist trap. Or it's a tourist trap.
Oh yeah, I could totally believe that.
Roswell's like, if you've ever been like, it's just like a total tourist trap.
Yeah. There's like a couple things there that people can make money doing, but other than that, it's...
Oh, dude, what other good conspiracy theories are there? Like, I'm huge into conspiracy theories. Chemtrails. Do you think chemtrails is real?
I don't know enough, but I would lean towards no.
I would say no.
Yeah.
I think there's too many people be involved. There's no way.
So
hush hush.
And that's the thing. There are a few that it would be. There's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way.
Flat Earth. People think the Earth's flat.
No.
No way.
No. Yeah, no way. But again, I'm not a smart man.
Yeah.
But there are some things that I'm just like, come on.
I don't know, dude. What's like other good ones we talked?
I'm trying to think.
Megalodon. Ghosts. You know, ghost guy. Spirits.
Yeah.
I think
But
so.
I mean, I've never had a moment or anything, but I don't know. That's a gray area. Ghost spirits.
I think I'm on the train, man. I just haven't had any experiences.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, I can't say that I'm fully in. You know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dip the toes in. Like,
Yeah.
I want to believe, and two, like, I just like I want it to, but I don't have my own like. All right, period. Dot. It's real.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. Yeah, I never really had anything. I don't really know. That's like a big one though. So because some people are like super into it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the video of Demi Lovato singing to the ghost?
I think I did, dude. It was like
Dude.
the most cringy.
Dude, it was rough.
Yeah, that might be a hot topic to discuss, but that lady is got some problems.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
I can't.
It was.
It is cringy, dude.
Caught me off guard.
Yeah, it's
I was
cringy.
like, yeah. Anyways, dude, what's other good ones? I feel like there's so many. We talked about Bigfoot. We talked about.
Do you like we're aliens, right? So you believe in aliens, right? Yes or no? Maybe. And if so, do you think that like we have alien technology?
Us right now?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think there's like a crash ship or something?
Oh, maybe, but we do not have alien technology.
You don't think so?
No. Like what? What would you?
I don't know, dude. Like Bob Lazar, man. If you ever listen to him, he like supposedly worked at like Area B or Site B or whatever, like in Nevada, where he was like reverse engineering this like spaceship. And he said that they had they had a few of them, and he said that they were old, like they were like archaeological dig sites that were like 10,000 years old. What?
Like Alien versus Cowboy type stuff?
Not necessarily that, but you gotta like, dude. This I'm gonna blow your mind.
Okay.
Wait, so with aliens, like, there's a couple theories about aliens, right? And this is like where this is why I can kind of get on the train of like, maybe there's like, why don't we have great footage, or why isn't it more common? Like, if there was aliens, like, you got to think like the vastness. You got to think of just literally the vastness of like the galaxy.
Okay.
And like not just our galaxy, but just the universe in
Yeah.
general. The vastness, like I think the Milky Way is 200 million light years across. Light years, like light years.
Yeah.
And
It's not like a mile away.
there's like there's like billions of galaxies. So just literally the vastness of space. And then you times that by time. So like there's our time of just like human history is like 10,000 years old or something. It's like that we've been like documenting human history.
Mm-hmm.
So like could you imagine like time plus the space? It would be like, I always use the comparison of like, imagine, and for us to be at the same place at the same time, it would be like, imagine the United States and nobody is like on it except you and I. And I'm in New York and you're in California and we're told to just walk across the United States.
And meet each other.
In 10 years. Like whenever, like you live here, I live here, and we'll say 10 years we're just hanging out. And it's like, sometime in this 10 years, you'll just decide to walk to California. Or not, vice versa.
Yeah.
And somehow you and I end up like in the same place. It happens.
It happens.
It's a theory.
It happens.
So I think that's why it's like, it could be a rarity. Like maybe the aliens were here 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
But that happens. Like that could happen. Like if we could pick out two specific people in time, like in real life, our life right now, and say we've known each other all these years, and then we're not going to see each other for 15 years. I'm going to go 15 years. And then one day, someone's going to decide, both of you guys are going to decide to take trips and meet at a place that you do not live, that you've never been to.
Yeah, that's happens, right? It's like a rarity. But
Yeah.
that's, I think, why we don't have like That's why there aren't aliens every day.
Yeah.
We see them all the time.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that's like a dumbed down version of what you're saying in space.
Yeah.
Like that can happen here. So if you scale it up, how could that
Be crazy.
It'd be crazy. I don't know.
I think some funky stuff does happen though.
Yeah. I want a little wooden one.
Little wooden alien.
Like a lawn gnome. Every time I pass by like a stand, I'm like, dang, I want one of those things.
Oh, what are some very good conspiracy theories?
I'm like spacing. I feel like I talk about it so much and I'm spacing now.
Yeah, that was like my latest one. Is like, I think I listened to the JFK assassination like podcast. That it was pretty good.
It's a doozy one.
That's a doozy.
That one's just hard because there's like stories from different people, and you know what I mean. You're like,
yeah.
Dude. But that's the thing. Like, people who live in that moment, would say different things. You know what I mean? And I forget the two stories that were like, I forgot what I was watching. I was watching something, and it gave like two different people's perspective. Not like important people.
Yeah.
Just like random people's two different perspectives, and they said two completely different things. And it's like, I get that. Like that happens all the time. And but like when you get into like important people, asking them questions, and you're like, that's strange, right? That you just said that type stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to think.
There's some cool papers on like the CIA, like doing like astral projection. You seen that? Like unclassified documents from the CIA.
What was
that?
Like
Another weird one. They had him like teleport his mind or whatever to like Mars or something. He said he saw like an ancient colony or something. This was the CIA.
Wasn't
the men who stare at goats, like crazy stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. What was it? I forget the name. I'm sure you've heard this, like them giving like Manson stuff. The government. Like
Charlie Manson or whatever,
mm-hmm.
the murderer, giving him stuff. What do you mean?
Hallucinogenics, like I forget the reason why, but they were like he would get like arrested, and then like higher ups would come in and say this is above your pay grade, and they'd get him out of jail and stuff. No.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that one.
It's strange, and I forget like it's like a name. It was like a thing. Like they were doing experiments on his brain, like his mind on this stuff, and but there was like a name, they had a file name, and it was him. And like every time he'd get in trouble, they'd get him out and say, "Don't worry about it." Like some crazy stuff, and we're like,
"Ooh, I got one." Moon landing. Think we went to the moon?
Dude, I don't know. I this is one that haven't looked into, but I've heard both sides, and I'm just like.
I think we did. But I do think there's a lot of reasons why I would understand why somebody would not believe that.
Yeah.
So, like, also we lost all the data and, like, all the documents on, like, how to build a rocket ship. Like, the rocket, like, all that got, like, lost.
There's a lot of things that have been just lost that you're like, why were they lost? Type
Yeah.
stuff.
Like,
I just don't know.
How did that get lost? Like, somebody had, like, a folder. It was just like, well, we don't need these anymore. Put them in the shredder.
It could have been. What was that? I'm trying to think. I don't want to name the wrong building name.
Oh, Building 7, World Trade Center. Oh man, that's another one, man. Like I can say I've like we used to get into some kicks about the World Trade Center, and man, I think
Consensus.
Oh god, dude, that's another one that gets my brain kind of spinning a little bit. Because like I don't want to believe that it was an inside job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to believe that do I say I trust the government now? Absolutely not. Like do I think shady stuff like that is possible? 100%. But I feel like that would be such a big operation that like how could you keep that under wraps?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like yeah, could some couple of dudes kill JFK with instruction from Lyndon B. Johnson? Yeah. Like, hey, dudes, like, hey, you, like, make sure it gets done. Like, and that could stay hush-hush until the dude was like, I'll send you a podcast, but it was pretty cool about, like, a dude who was dying, who supposedly was involved in killing Kennedy, like, pretty much spilled the beans thinking he was going to die on his deathbed, and he lived, like, 5 more years. But he had, like, wrote some names down of like, hey, we did it.
Dang.
That's possible,
Yeah.
right? Like I can get on that.
Hmm.
But the amount of like what it would take to do that, like to the World Trade Center and bring those down. And you know, people have like crazy theories of like it was brought down with with explosive charges and blah 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 blah. Like I think that would be hard to keep under wraps, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I would find that hard to believe that like you would need a lot of people to be involved. And like I think that would be too hard to keep like close knit. But that's one side of me is like, yeah, that's the case.
Yeah.
But then the other side of me is like, bro, how in the world could these planes have smashed that building and then passports somehow survived and they knew who, like,
Yeah.
you know, and then like supposedly like Tower 7 wasn't supposed to, you know, like it just got brought down and there's like videos of like explosions and there's testimonies of people were hearing explosions before and people think like, look how clean cut that beam is. It had to have been done by shape charges. Like, and I'm an explosive dude, so I know a ton about explosives.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, I'm kind of like, I don't know, dude. Jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams, and then like you could have experts who are like experts who are like, oh, it's impossible. That building was made to catch fire, and then you have other experts who are like, look, I'll prove it to you, you know, and then they just like both sides are extremely convincing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, dude. That's another one. Like
That's like a, if there was an important one, right?
especially it's like our lifetime. That was like a huge thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Dude, what's funny is like, I'm not saying that we lived in the worst years of, let's say, the last 5 generations. But what's funny is we've lived through a handful of major events that, like, future kids were like, well, what was that? What was that? Like, you were alive during that? I'm like, dude, we had, like, a handful of, like, plagues. Like, bird flu, swine flu, COVID, like, we lived through all these.
Yeah,
you know, there's a bunch.
COVID has definitely got to be the biggest one, man. Like that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think COVID was a total sham. So
Yeah.
that's just me. That's like my tinfoil hat.
And how's your...
I'm convinced COVID was this a sham.
What was the reason? I'm saying I agree. I just don't know the reason. But
I
do
think
you have a reason?
Man, I mean, there's like an extreme part of me that thinks like COVID was probably done for some sort of form of like population control.
Oh,
And,
okay,
like,
I can think that.
Population control, and I think it could have been done to kill like a lot of the old people for Social Security because like they never thought that the baby boomers would live as long as they did.
Hmm.
And that's like, even me, I'm like, I don't swear by that, right? But that's kind of like a little bit on the extreme side.
Yeah.
I really think COVID was just done to demonstrate like the power that they have over us.
Yeah.
Like they can convince you to get vaccinated, they can convince you to wear a mask that doesn't work. And then of course all the people who were doing that weren't doing that and made a ton of money.
We can cut this out if you can't answer it. But how was the military in that for you?
Follow the status quo, man. We were masking. They made us get vaccines. Now that just actually went away, so they were trying to get us boosted, and then luckily some senators were like, no.
Yeah. Did it mess you up in any way?
I got the Johnson & Johnson, man, and I got it when I was deployed, and they kind of made us get it because it was just like, they didn't make us at that point. They were just like, they made life so miserable for us that was like, it was just worth getting. Because they were just like, if you're not vaccinated, you can't go to the gym without a mask, and you can't sit in a car without a mask, and you can't go off base to go into town and get like food and stuff. So, and I was deployed during COVID, so like the bad part. So it's like, it was stupid, man. It was just like same stupid stuff. So it was kind of just made us. They kind of like made it so stupid that it was just like, just go get the vaccine. Luckily, I got the J&J though, so I got like a single shot.
Yeah.
Typical like like mRNA vaccine. And then that's the only shot I've gotten.
Dude, I never thought about that Social Security thing. That's pretty good.
Just saying.
It's a doozy. It's good.
But that's like a very extreme sense of like,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily swear by that, but that's like kind of my little.
But I mean, if you take it, I mean, it doesn't seem that crazy.
Yeah, that's like not that crazy, right?
I feel like there are crazier things, but that's good. I could see like I said, you have to be a conspiracy theorist to like engage with any of this conversation. But like if you are, then you've dabbled in population control from a handful of different things, and that would make total sense. Like if you're believing that, then like that would be like you'd be like 100%. That's what
Yeah,
that was.
smoked a ton of old people, man. Like,
Yeah.
just killed them.
Yeah.
Unhealthy people.
Yeah. And that was the thing, right? It's like health conditions and old. And you're like, it got you good.
Yeah.
Scary.
I don't know, man. I really just think it was like a way of demonstrating the power that the whaties have above us and tell us what to do and how to live your life. And then I think it was just like a way of testing the waters. And there, like, a lot of people made money. Not you and I.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
But the people who told us what to do, those ones made a lot of money.
We got what's it called? Every 3 months. What was that?
What?
What was that? The money we got? Did you get that money?
Oh, stimulus money?
Yeah, for the hard times. Dude, I worked through like I never had any problems with my job. Most people I know didn't have any problems with their job. But yeah, it was a bummer to see like some people like really like they couldn't work or they couldn't anything. I was like, dude, it's really hurting these families, and then that's actually like killing these families.
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's
my
like
goodness.
that was the worst part. Like, luckily for me, man, like I was in a state like Arizona was like a super free state. So I mean, we locked down for a little bit, and then the restaurants kind of opened like halfway. You know, but like I know, but that was weird. Like, cause I came here, like, dude, I was like at the bar, going to downtown, like eating dinner, and then I come here, and it was like, you got to go through Garcia's to get drive-through only. Mm-hmm. Bro, that killed so many businesses. It killed so many. Like, dude, it like luckily for me, I wasn't affected. If anything, my life got easier more or less because like I just got to chill out for like months at work. Like, but like it was pretty sad to see. Like, I mean, like there's people who lost their whole livelihood because of that. Yeah, it's because they got told to like, hey, you can't open. And the worst part of it is like all the people who told you that like did whatever they wanted.
It didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter to them.
Didn't affect them.
Yeah.
Dude.
Sketchy, dude. Sketchy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I think we're just getting started. I think it's going to get even worse.
And okay, we'll go with that. In that way, or I'll ask this, and you'll know what I'm asking for future events. Have you ever seen Red Dawn?
Yeah.
Both of them?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen this. I think I've seen the second one.
The new one?
Yeah, the newer one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think I have. Great movies.
Yeah.
I like them both. I think it's been like amped up, right? Kind of nervous, but amped up. With current events, people being worried about that happening.
I don't think so, man. I think like the United States is kind of a little bit untouchable in that sense because like there's more gun owners in the United States than there are. There's more guns in the United States than there are Americans.
People, yeah.
So I don't think that would ever be a thing. I just don't think it would happen that way. Like I think, and logistically, it'd be too hard to get to America. Yeah. Like that's why it's kind of we're lucky because like unless you go through Canada or Mexico, like
the gate would almost have to be.
The only way that would be possible is if you're coming through Alaska all the way down. But that's treacherous too. That'd be super difficult. Yeah, I don't think you could invade the United States in that fashion. Yeah. But what I will say is, like especially with the Ukraine and Russia happening, like obviously these are just like my opinions based off of nothingness, right? Like obviously I watch that pretty close just because I'm in the military. Like I obviously watch that stuff super close. But one thing I will say is like people like right like we're always on edge. Like every heater I guess. Yeah, spooky dude off this ghost
fire extinguisher.
But like for me it was just kind of like people were like, oh, we're on edge about this, we're prepping for this, we're watching out for this, like
wrong things,
or just like like conflicts, right? Like, hey, we're worried about this, we're worried about this, we're worried about this, and obviously like now you could just tell like where America is worried is mostly about China. But before the Ukraine and Russia thing happened, there was worried about Russia, worried about China. Like for me, everyone's like, oh, and I was like a non-believer. I was like, dude, no way. I was like, we're past that. We're humans are past that. Like I always thought warfare would be small skirmishes, kind of like either terrorist stuff or small countries, like kind of what's been happening in the past 20 years. But like you know, I never thought like World War III, planes dogfighting, bombs being dropped. Like, I never thought that would be something I would ever see. Like, I was like, we rely, one, economically in the world, like, we rely too much on each other, and two, like, with the connectedness of phones and like, oh, nobody's going to want to turn on the news. And it was like different World War II or Vietnam. Like, yeah, there was some footage, but like, you couldn't just log into social media and see like, oh my God, look at all these dead, you know, this dead Germans in Germany that the U.S. took the front. Like, that was always kind of like, maybe you got pictures in the newspapers or however they did media back then. So we were very disconnected in that sense of what was truly going down over there. And I thought to myself, like, the way we're connected now, there's no way people would be okay with seeing that. Like, I think in my head, I thought to myself, like, hey, we're too advanced. Like, nobody's going to want to pull up Facebook and like, hey, look at this massacre that just happened and whatever, you know. And people, like, I felt like the world would come in arms. Like, oh, there's no way. These are very civilized cities. These are civilized countries fighting, like, because everything up until that point has always been like little skirmishes between countries and border states or whatever it is. And then sure enough, like, everything I never thought I would see, I've seen. Like, I've logged into, like, I follow all the war in Ukraine and Russia, like, and sure enough, there's, like, jets dogfighting over cities in Ukraine. There's Russian planes, like, dropping bombs into cities. Like, and not city, like, shithole Syria. Like, this is, like, a city you would go visit.
Yeah.
Like, this was, like, a very established city.
Yeah.
You know, where people had
like
jobs.
A bigger city there.
Yeah, like, and it's not a third world country either. It's, like, an established country.
Yeah.
And sure enough, like, there's missiles flying in, like, doing strikes in like these cities. Like, everything I thought I would, like, there's tanks. I've seen videos of just burnt humans, like, on the street in the town. Like, everything I thought I would never see, like, there's no way we would see that, I've seen. So to me, like, everything's a go, man.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Like, I would thought, like, before, if you would have told me last year, like, this would happen, but no way. And then sure enough, like, everything I thought I would never see, it's real. So nothing surprises me, like, anymore. Like, if you would ask me, like, hey, do you ever see, like, a World War III apocalypse scenario happening last year, before all this? No way.
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
Not surprised. Probably.
Civil War.
That one too, man. That one doesn't surprise me at all. That's another one, like, I think we might be due for one, in my opinion. That's like an extreme opinion, but I think we're due for one.
Yeah, I'll say. I don't think there's any way that I can say this that would not get this like flagged or something. But yeah,
I think so, man. I think we're more divided now than ever before. I think there's a lot of corruption in high places that's like sketchy. So I don't know. I have no real insight into any of that other than just personal opinion. But
yeah, that's the thing though, is that's not. Most of the time, that's not presented. It's like presented as facts, and not as, hey, it's kind of just what I think. This is.
I don't know, man. I think you can only push people so far, and there's been a lot of pushing lately.
Yeah.
And there's like eventually all tensions come to a breaking point. So.
Dude, that's the truth. But it's funny, like you said, like that. COVID didn't really affect you. Like, it almost made it better. And, like, not to, like, you know, talk bad about the bad things that have happened to people and their families and stuff, but I'm like, I feel the exact same way. Like, I wasn't affected. Like, yeah, certain things. And, it bugged me for a little bit. I'm like, I just want to, like, run inside the gas station and do something without a mask. Like, that's all I want. Right? It was stuff like that. But I'm like, whatever. I'll do it. It was stuff like that was something like really get to me. Because I'm just like, why? Like, I just don't get it. And then, like, another thing was like, you're not wearing real masks. You're not doing anything. Like, that was the thing. It was like the, for lack of a better term, like the thoughtless things that was like, oh, if I just wear this or that, I'm saving people. And I'm like, that's not doing anything. You're not doing anything, like, at all. Like, you have no medical anything, and you're thinking that wearing that is saving anything. No, you're not doing anything. And it wasn't until like later on, towards the end, people were like, oh yeah, N95s actually do something, and blah blah. I'm like, yeah, the cloth mask, and that's and honestly, like, I was wearing like for work and obviously like even now I'll put an N95 on for certain people, you know. or for myself, not for some people. That sounded bad, but for myself, I'll put it on just because I'm just like, But yeah, I wore the gaiter because I'm like, I'm not. I don't. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah. I was like a super not wearing mask person at all, and I'm still not. Like, I just flew all over. I was in Florida last week. I was at Disney. Don't care. Don't wear one. It's fake.
People. Well, I mean, Florida was like another.
That was a crazy one.
Yeah.
Man. Like, they didn't care at all. I mean, look how well Florida did though. Like, their economy was fine. Like, more or less. Like, those people got to work. Those people kept businesses open. And then you come to like states like here where it was locked down for like a year.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I actually had a trip like that where I flew here. And then I drove back with my grandpa and my little sister, and they were shocked, man, because, like, here we are in New Mexico where, like, it was still super locked down, like, a year later. Like, still, like, could only do drive-through, like, nightmare. Nobody else, like, driving through Albuquerque was like a ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
And then, in a matter of a few hours, we're in Arizona, and they were, like, shocked to see people, like, in the street, like, nothing had changed. And they were like, everyone's cool, no mask, just walking around, and this is, like... It's just a free state, dude. You know, like, it's pretty crazy, though.
I was going to bring up something about that. Oh, today I saw a lady at the store. Like, today. Mask around her neck. I was like, what, why?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I still feel the same, like, it's the same way about the vaccine, man, because if you, like, looked at how the vaccine actually works, it doesn't work like, oh, I get it, I can't get you sick.
Yeah.
Like, I think people just don't understand, and so, like, it doesn't make any sense. They're like, oh, well, you should get vaccinated so you don't kill somebody. Like, that's not the point. Like, the vaccine's to protect you, so it's like, well, I won't get that sick, you know? Like, hopefully I'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if I'm vaccinated or not, you know what I mean? So it's just like...
Dude.
So, I don't know, I was just like, I guess people don't understand or do the research to same thing with the mask thing. Like, oh, it's cool, I'm wearing a mask. Like, no, you're wearing a neck gaiter.
Yeah.
That doesn't really work. Like, and we're still going back and forth on that. Like, even, like, it's crazy, dude. It's like...
How's your lady with all this stuff?
What's that?
How's your lady with all
Dude,
this
she's
stuff?
worse than me, bro. She's
Really?
like, oh, my God, dude, you think, like, I'm, like... And then, like I said before, man, she, like, makes me tinfoily hat even worse because she's,
Sick.
like... She's even more extreme than I am. But it's cool, like, I think that's, like, a thing, like, we'd have to be two certain kind of people to, like... They'll do with that together because if not, like, we would drive each other nuts.
Yeah.
Because, like, no way that you're going to have somebody who's extreme as she is and then, like, somebody who's like, well,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I should get vaccinated. If I told her, I was like, I think I'm going to go get a booster, she'd probably, like, slap me across the face.
Yeah. That's cool.
But I don't want to. Like, I agree with her. You know what I mean? I'm just like...
I got you.
So it works well.
That's funny.
But I argue with my family all the time because my family doesn't always see it the way I see it, but...
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm just, like... All this boils down to me. It's like I'm just somebody like I want people to have the freedom to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Like if you want to wear a mask, by all means, I think you're dumb, but go ahead and wear it. Like it doesn't affect me.
It's not hurting my feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, but the last thing I want is for you to look at me and tell me like, "Hey, you need to wear a mask." Like,
Yeah.
No, I don't need to wear a mask. I don't have to do that. Oh, you need to go get vaccinated. No, I don't. You go get vaccinated.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do me.
That's a tough one.
I don't tell you, hey, don't get vaccinated.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, dude, go do your thing, man.
Yeah.
I don't care, but just don't tell me what to do. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, for sure. That was like the biggest thing that we've lived through.
Oh yeah, dude, that's a weird one.
I mean, I'm not in regards to like a terrorist act.
But I think we were older. Like obviously we're adults. Like, you know, I was like 8 when 9/11 happened. Like, but now like I did live through the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know.
Strange, dude. I feel like, and I forgot what I was listening to, but like I don't think that's gonna be in a history book.
You don't think so?
Like, no, like what I was listening to. I forgot what I was listening to, but like we don't think that'll be.
That's like
people are
sweeping
gonna
under
try.
the rug.
Yeah, exactly what it is. And, like that wasn't worth anything. Like goodness.
Oh god.
But they're like people are like 100% created in the lab, 100% tested it essentially. You know what I mean? But I'm like, dude, if you start thinking like that, you're like, my goodness, because there's nothing you can do.
Dude, we're just like little ants in an ant farm just fighting.
Yeah.
And somebody's controlling it all.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Scary.
That's like offline stuff though. It's like
straight up,
people will be
dude.
like, whoa, you
Yeah.
guys are wild.
Yeah. What was another one? Do you think this is like? I don't think this at all. I've heard people say like, oh yeah, dude, we're living in, and believe it, we're living in a simulation.
I don't know if that's the case, but I'm also like, that's not one where I'm like, no way. I don't doubt it. Like, I think that could be possible.
Like Matrix. Plugged in?
I don't know if it's like why my body physically exists somewhere else, but I don't doubt that like it's possible that humans went to like a crazy higher state of consciousness and figured like maybe humans are happier in this kind of setting, and then
here we are.
We live in this not real world.
Strange.
That's a weird one. I do have like a little bit of weird. Oh man, how can I even say like weird moments? Or I always call it like I feel like I'm the center of the universe. As like corny as that sounds. Does this ever happen to you? This happened to me. Like happens to me. Like let's say you don't ever hear like a word. Like somebody will never use a word that you've ever heard. And then all of a sudden like somebody's like, oh, it says a weird word. And then like you hear it all the time. Like that could be just like you just consciously being aware of it. But I swear like things will happen and then all of a sudden it like starts happening around you.
Like seeing a car.
Yeah, like what if you're like, I've never seen that car before, and then all of a sudden like, you see like 50 of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like your consciousness picking that up, or it's just like in Tim's world, in his simulation.
Yeah.
That's like, they're like, oh, he saw that, let's put more of them.
More of them in there.
Yeah. Because like it happens for me with like words. Like somebody will say a word, I'm like, I've never heard that word before, and then all of a sudden like I start hearing it everywhere. I'm like,
yeah,
I've lived 29 years and never heard anyone say that word, and now I've heard it 3 times in the last 3 days.
Yeah.
Like
an odd word that's not usually... I'm trying to think of a word.
So I just have like those weird moments where I'm like, maybe I'm in the sim, dude. Like, what if?
I'm trying to think of a word that's like that. Someone said enamored one time.
Enamored?
Yeah. I'm like, huh.
Then probably the next day you heard somebody like,
oh.
You're watching the news, and then the lady's like, oh, it's enamored. And you're like,
I'm like, I like
there
that.
There it is. There it is.
That. Enamored.
She said it.
But yeah, you're like, For me, it's like more like cars.
Did you see Cars?
Yeah. But I feel like that is a thing in your head, like you...
It could be.
You've related to it, like you... Like well, it's hard for me in the R32, just because like there's none.
Yeah.
So I don't see... I think I've seen 2 in person. But the Telluride, we ordered it from... I don't know where it came from, Georgia. Ordered it from Georgia, shipped here the way we wanted it, and then... Dude, no joke. Older brother lived in our old neighborhood with us. He goes, oh yeah, I saw Anna pass through the neighborhood a while back. And I was like, no, she's at work, dude. He's like, no, she drove down that way. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, dude, she drove past your house and went down further. And I was like, what the heck? And I was like, that's strange. And then he's like, oh yeah, here she comes. And the car's leaving, and it's almost the exact same. Like, if you didn't know the small things, you would think that was her car. I'm like, what the heck, dude? Like, the same week. Like, that's the exact same thing.
Weird, dude.
And I'm like, that's really weird. So then I was like, I can't have the same vehicle. This is like my weird thing. I can't have like, I've always been like, if I was dressed different, or like just weird little things like that make me feel like, okay, I'm good. Like less anxiety type, I guess if you can. Like getting tattoos is like that for me. Like I've changed something big in my life, so I'm like, okay, I can breathe a little bit. Like traveling does that for me. Like that. Like if I see someone that has the exact same vehicle, I'm like, no. So we went and got the top wrapped, and you know what I mean. And like
the typical Tim move.
Yeah, I can't do it. It freaks me out. It gives me anxiety. But yeah, it's funny that you said that, because that's one that goes like under the radar. But you're like, that is strange, because that does happen to me a lot. Dang, I'm trying to think of other things. Oh, I got a big one, but I don't know much about it. I don't think we should talk about it. I don't know what we should talk about it.
Just hit it quick. We won't get into it.
I don't know much about it, but the stuff I've heard is concerning.
Yeah?
Vatican.
Oh, man.
Right?
That I do.
Big.
That I do believe.
That's big.
Yeah, I do believe that there is probably some extremely strange things that the church gets involved in. Yeah, unmentionable. Yeah, unmentionables.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, same thing. Like I've heard crazy things, man. Like in like Reddit or weird things is like they have like time traveling devices or like weird parts of the Bible that they never like put out because it was too weird, or like weird like machines, or like I don't know. That's actually a fun one to go digging in because like
there's so much stuff.
There's some like people like supposedly like in the Vatican, like they have like you name it, dude, like weird stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like
dude, they're the richest entity in the world.
Yeah. There's like art in there.
Art.
Yes.
Who knows? I've been to the Vatican too.
Damn.
It's crazy.
Did you feel weird there?
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's like pretty dope. But I don't know. That's another one that's a fun rabbit hole to go down to, because like you start to look into like things that are supposedly locked away in the Vatican, and it's just like crazy. Ooh, I got one for you. Exorcisms. Think it's real or think it's a sham?
Real.
Think it's real. So that's another fun one that you can segue into with like the Catholic Church. It's because like, did you know that the Catholic Church, in order for it to have like an exorcism sanctioned from the Catholic Church, it needs to be like pushed through the Vatican, and then the Vatican like goes like, okay, cool, like this is for sure a real case.
Strange.
And like,
how would they determine it?
they have to actually submit like documentation, like, hey, this is what's going on, like, and then the Vatican determines like, okay, that's a legitimate exorcist case, and like you'll have a saint, like an actual priest from a Catholic priest, like who is capable of doing an exorcism, go do an exorcism. Opposed to just like, yeah, it's just a crazy willy-nilly person.
Yeah.
Which I've seen like videos of people like,
it's a little much.
Like I think that's kind of fake. Like,
yeah. I don't think, because I haven't experienced it, I haven't lived that.
Yeah.
But I feel like those ones you do see, I don't think that's what it's like.
I don't know, dude. Like in the movies.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
That's like one that I've done like research on in like wormholes, and they actually have a dude on YouTube now who's like a Catholic priest, who is like he's like the regional exorcist guy, and he does like podcasts, and like he's pretty open about like where most of that stuff's like pretty hush hush. He's like pretty open about it. So, but yet again, right? Like he's like, oh yeah, I've seen. He's like, most cases are not. You know, I saw like a short video, and he was like, most cases are people that submit cases to the church, but then they realize like we'll stop them early when we already know that, hey, it's like somebody with mental illness, or it's not real or whatever. Like, but then there's those ones that come through that we look into further, and then out of those ones, like some we deem like, okay, these are real, and then those get passed up. They get like, okay, these are legit. They go down, and he said out of all, like if you were to put a bunch of cases, only a snippet is actually real. And of those real cases, only like a snippet of those are like the extreme ones. Where he was like, most people, like you just do your thing, everything's okay, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Everything's good. But he said sometimes you get those ones that are like crazy, where he's like, I've seen people floating, I've seen all this crazy stuff. But then you go like, if you're seeing people floating, dude, like proof where it didn't happen, bro. Like, yeah. I mean, it'd be different if like he pulls up like, oh, check this out, this girl's like floating in midair. But you're just like, all right.
She's floating.
All right, yep.
Yeah,
I'm onto that one. You know,
or
but then like, why doesn't that exist?
You want them views?
What's that?
You want them views, dude? Those YouTube views. Of course, I'm gonna say I saw some chick floating.
Of course, yeah. But then like, that's where you always have that, like we were talking earlier. Is like you always have like, I want to believe, but like until you experience it, and like that might not be a thing I even want to tinker with, man. Like,
yeah, no, dude.
Like,
honestly,
like as much as I would like, I would love to see a girl floating, and then go, yup, that's real. At the same time, like. I don't think let's just let that be curiosity.
No, yeah, let that one till I'm dead.
Yeah, I'll just kind of, I don't want to dabble with that. And for sure, dude, I don't mess with like spooky stuff, man. Like I stay away from all that.
No, and that's the thing. Like, if you want to start talking about like spooky stuff, that stuff's real. 100% real. That's real. I mean, you dig far enough into that, like you're gonna see some weird stuff.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know how far I would go, or how far people have gone, but I know it goes pretty far.
I don't know, man. Like that's like a thing. Like I was always raised like, you don't mess with that stuff, and I feel like my fear of that, like even as an adult, like is enough to where I'm just like,
I'm good.
No, like you know what, dude, I'll just leave it to curiosities, but I'm not tinkering with any of that stuff. Like witchcraft or like Ouija boards or stuff like that. Like I don't mess with it, dude.
I'm good.
Like even if like, you're with people and they're like, oh, just mess with a Ouija board. I'd be like, even in my grown age, I'd be like, nope, I'm good, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I want no part in that.
Heck no. That stuff makes me nervous. Dude, I stopped watching one of those movies. They're fake.
Like the Conjuring movies? You seen those?
No, maybe. What was like the ones they were like doing? They had a bunch of them.
You gotta give me a hint
Paranormal.
or something. Oh, Paranormal Activity movies?
Yeah. And I watched like the first one and stuff, but I was just like, meh. Alright. I mean, I feel like they got worse and worse and worse, but I feel like the first one was like, oh gosh.
They're spooky,
right?
man.
They're very spooky, but then, and that was probably like the reason that I stopped watching more than anything, so I'm like, I don't know if that may or may not happen. Could happen. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm good.
I don't know, man. Like, I love the paranormal, and like, up to a point, you know. But there's like obviously like where I have like my, like I'm curious, right? Like I'm a curious being, so it's like I want to kind of know, but I don't really want to know too much.
You want to know personally?
Yeah, like
well,
I would,
mean, you would, but
like don't get me wrong, like to have like one of those experiences where you're like, no doubt that's real, and I saw it and I experienced it, like, check that box. Like, I guess I would want to have that, but at the same time, like, you don't want to have too much of that.
No. A buddy, he was saying, he's like, oh, we were started talking about, like, deep Louisiana stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah. It gets intense fast. Real. I was like, I don't doubt it. But I'm not going to, like, try and go finding out. He's like, oh, no. He's like, it's real. That's real. That's no joke.
Yeah, like, and that's another one too. It's like a lot of that stuff. Like my family has some pretty weird stories about like stuff like that, where I'm just like, you know, it's like everything else, man. It's like never happened to me, so I can't say that I know, but I trust these people, and their experiences. So it's like, I don't know, freaky,
it's tough,
spooky. But I don't dabble too. I definitely won't dabble.
No, I don't want to know. I don't know. I'm not that curious.
I'm not trying to open no doors I can't close.
There's straight up, and it's like the quick thought of it's like, oh, that's pretty crazy, but I'm like, that usually just stops there. That's pretty crazy. I'm good.
Yeah, no,
I don't want to.
Not for me.
I don't want to find that.
Nah, we're good.
Yeah. What's funny is like this one of all the podcasts has been like all over the place.
Oh, 100%.
I like it.
People are like, what are these idiots talking about?
Yeah, dude. The Christmas special, they're talking about Ouija boards. What are you doing, dude?
They talk about Santa the whole time.
What are you doing? St. Nick, real person. Okay. What was that? The bad guy. Not the Grinch. Like the real bad guy.
Krampus?
Yeah. What is that guy? Do you know anything about him?
Krampus?
What is that?
I don't know. That's just like people turning a spooky thing to Christmas or something.
It's like, I don't know.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Well, what were we watching when he was on there? Oh, we were watching the new, and Anna was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, it's like the Krampus guy. And she's like, what is that? And I'm like, he's like a scary Grinch, essentially. Or something like that. I don't really know too much about it, so I could be wrong. I'm just saying what I think it is. Because I haven't looked into it. But we're watching a new Santa Claus's show, the series, like the TV show. I think it's like a series. But it's like Tim Allen.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Like, you know, and it's pretty good. But like, yeah, like in one of the scenes, it showed that. And she's like, that was kind of weird, creepy. Like, just on this, like randomly in this kid's show. I'm like, yeah, it was a little weird. But yeah, I know that was just like some dumb thing to scare kids.
Oh, what's one? Oh, people get spooky on this one, dude. Skinwalkers, man.
That's a doozy, dude.
Some people, like, a lot of people don't even like talking about it. Supposedly saying that's like a bad word.
I don't know. I've heard stories.
Yeah, see, like, there we are again, dude. Just more like second, third, fourth hand stories. Yeah. Like, he believes this guy, he told him this story. Like, same thing with me. Like, I don't know. Never.
But it's like, at what line of hearing a story, like, what relationship? Oh, I'll ask you this: what for anything, for any of these things, what relationship would you have to have with a person to be like, I believe you?
I think that would come down to the person and the experience, man. Like, for me, I don't think I could say it's a person or like I would have to know the person like well enough, and then know like the situation, because like, right, like somebody could take your sleep paralysis story and go like not get all the facts or whatever and go like, and then not know you and go like, hey, this happened to my friend. It's real.
Yeah.
But then like you kind of told me it's a scenario and it's like, oh, hey, this is sleep paralysis. And like it's a thing, right? Like it's nothing to be, it happens. Mm-hmm. Right? But it's like, I think those stories can happen with people too. It's like, oh, well, this happened. Well, we were also drinking too. So it's kind of, right? When you're just like, or you like, I'm kind of like somebody like I don't believe everybody, but I try to get the scenario and then, but you have those scenarios, right? Like my dad has told me stories of like being in, it's my grandparents' house that they had this house like in Albuquerque that was haunted. And like I have a ton of family who've told me this story. And even my dad, man, he's like, it's my mom's parents, but my dad would be like, oh, yeah, man, that house was spooky, man. And I was like, oh, what? And he would just look at me and he'd tell me, like, oh, one time I was there, this happened, and I heard people talking in the house. And he's like, walked around the house, and, like, I'm talking, thinking they're hearing me. And I walk around the house, and, like, there's nobody there. And he's like, this was when even, like, one, it's my dad. Like, he's not going to spook me out or tell me, like, horse crap just for funny. Like, he's going to be, like, to him. But to hear how he told me and, like, the scenario, and I have a ton of other family who've told me stories, like, I believe him, But you get, like, you always try to, like, debunk it in some form or fashion. Yeah. But some of them you're just, like, maybe believing is easier than, like, trying to come up with, like, a reason why.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think there's a lot of stretch stories where, like, oh, we were drinking, or, oh, we saw this, or, like, there's always, like, some form of, like...
hook.
Yeah, there's always, like...
Like, you have you for a second, and then you say something, and you're like, oh, no, never mind.
Yeah, where you're like, oh, I saw these crazy lights, but it was also the 4th of July, so...
Yeah.
You're just like...
So it could have been tied to that, and you're like, never mind. You just lost all credibility.
Yeah, or, like, they tell you, like, this super loose story, and they believe it, but it's kind of like, oh, I saw this thing, it looked like a dog, but I don't think it was a dog. And then you're just like, maybe it wasn't just a dog, dude.
Chupacabra?
Like, yeah, something just weird stuff, but...
What's that one, the Spanish one? They made a movie about her.
Oh, the Llorona?
Yeah.
Dude, that's like from here, too. The Ditch Witch, man.
Yeah. That's funny.
That's a funny story, like a funky one.
Yeah, that's like... What was that movie? Or what was that... So you used to say it? Oh, sorry. You used to say it into the mirror. What was that?
That Bloody Mary?
Yeah. So and there was like... dang it, what made me think of that? It was like a movie. Blair Witch.
Oh, Blair Witch Project?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some strange things.
Even then, dude, even those things, like, I still don't kind of mess with that stuff. Like, even that's, like, spooky in its own way.
It's like there's like a line of, like, where it becomes, like, interesting and scary to, like, real. You're like, meh, I'm good.
Yeah. Let's just not do that,
But... before we'll get off the spooky, scary stuff.
What time is it now?
It's probably been like another hour.
The longest podcast ever.
But
just nonsense?
Just nonsense. But we'll get into some good things. We'll end it on some good things.
Okay.
Like we talked about way in the beginning of this, like years go by, don't see each other, meet up, we're good. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I do enjoy that. And one thing that we've always had in common is cars.
Yes. Big car guy.
We have different taste in cars. I like every car, but I'm saying your purchase was different than my purchase. Would you say that the Evo is your, how do I word this? Your attainable dream car?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Is it done?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much like, in Phoenix, there's like probably one of the best Evo builders in the world. Moon Performance, his name's Elijah. Dude's awesome. Unbelievable. So I took it to him, did it kind of like in 2 stages. I bought it from David years ago in, I think, 2017. I've had it since then. So when I moved to Phoenix, I took it with me from, I parked it at my dad's house for like a year when I was in Turkey. And then I took it, got some parts slapped onto it. Pretty much I did just like one big build because David had a few parts on there. And then I kind of finished it off. Like I put a bigger turbo. I went to ethanol, injectors, pretty much everything else that was done except the exhaust manifold. And it was fun. And I was on E54 instead of E85. And then I was like, you know what, like the exhaust manifolds typically crack and go bad. And I was like, you know what, I need to get that fixed. So I ended up getting a really nice full race turbo manifold. And then I switched over to E85, which is way better than 54. And then I ended up having to put a bigger fuel pump than the already upgraded fuel pump in there. So I had to go to a 450. And then, yeah, that's it. And then I'm done. So still stock block, rods, pistons, all that stock. And the reason why it's done for me is because, like, I want to put some coilovers and maybe some rims on it. The reason why I say I'm done is because, like, it's a slippery slope, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And I just know that already, as much money as I've dumped into it. Like, if I want to crack into the block, cool. Well, you crack into the block, then you build the block. Well, then the block's already built, so the parts that are in there already are not, like the turbo's too. I need a bigger turbo now for the upgraded block, and then you end up in this like cycle of like, well, the turbo's bigger now I need this, now I need this, and now the clutch that I put in there already isn't strong enough, and then you, before you know it, you're like at 800 horsepower, and like you're getting like transes built and axles built, and you're just like,
dude, full race car.
Yeah, like 30K into like a 30K car. So
that 3DX, and it's been a while since I've seen it. I don't even know if it's a car around anymore, and I don't know where it was. Maybe Texas, Florida, I don't know. But you ever see those videos?
Oh, 2K?
Mm-hmm.
The 2K videos?
Yeah, the 3DX Evo.
Oh, yeah, like 900 horsepower.
Black and like gold.
It's green.
Is it green?
It's green, black and green, I think.
Maybe. I don't remember. But I remember when that thing first like was getting built and stuff, it was like, oh my gosh, dude, violent.
Yeah.
But yeah, cars is always a thing. And as I told Anna for the new house, and like a lift's going in the garage because my attainable dream car is the R32, and I have it, so I'm like sick. But then I'm like, but I've gotten used to it, and like I really would love to turbo it, but I don't want to just because I can put a headspacer on it now, and turbo it, low boost, max probably like 15 pounds, and probably make like high 400s, and I'd be happy with that. But then I'm like, I know what I want to do with it, and I'm like, and it's not that, it's not 400 horsepower. And so I was like, I want to pull it apart myself. I want to try and save as much money as I can. Pull it apart myself. And not the engine work, obviously, because I wouldn't want to mess with that. But other than that, like, try and do everything myself. And because there's guys, like, fairly safe 9 plus. And I'm like, dude, imagine that car weighing what it weighs. Even like 7. 7 would be...
dude, then you would run into the same problems. You would need, like...
It's axles, it's everything. So at that point, and the price, and I've done it like, I've probably done this 10 times, where I price everything. And the price, and pricing everything, it would go to sequential. It wouldn't be a 6-speed. Mm-hmm. It would have to. It would have to, for that power. But that, like, just that is, I think it's the TTRS. It would be the same transmission as the new TTRS. And it's like 10 grand. Yeah. But it's like, throw whatever you want at it, dude. You know what I mean? Type stuff. I'm like, that's what I want.
Yeah, but then you get into the whole aspect of like, then you're this deep into a car and this much parts, and then you're just like, now I'm getting into like GTR money or,
dude.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you always kind of just like, got to draw a line somewhere, you know? What, like, so other than the R32, like, what would be like the next step up for you?
In car?
Yeah.
Like what would I want to buy?
Yeah.
The Grand National.
Really? I have a buddy who has one.
Really?
Like a drag Grand
dude.
National.
That's like my second dream car.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a dope car too.
And I don't know who was saying, I think maybe his mom was like, I don't like that for a while. She's like, I don't like that car. I'm like, what? And then I probably bugged her, and she probably likes it now. But maybe it was Anna. I don't remember who the conversation. But it was like, someone's like, I don't like it, and someone said they liked it. But, yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, it was like a Grand National. And I raced one time, just for fun. And as a guy and his girlfriend, I was like, dude, it was like, the GNX? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, dude, that's so crazy. And I said, but my dream car is like a Grand National. Like, I don't even care. Like, even if it's not like mint or anything, like, I would love that. And he's like, yeah, I don't, he said he got it from out of state or something, and it's stock. And I was like, that's so sick. He's like, any plans to mod or anything? He's like, probably not, dude. He's like, I like that. I'm like, heck yeah. I couldn't do that. I wouldn't make like a drag car, but I don't think I'd keep it stock. I already have like a list of things that I would do to it, but I was like, hey, let's just race, like just for fun. And he's like, heck yeah. And I beat him, but the all-wheel drive, and I mean, it's an uncomparable race. But I was like, dude, like that would probably be next. And then like probably unattainable, not unattainable, but like unrealistic, would be AMG GT.
Oh, okay.
I'm
a Lambo guy, man.
Yeah.
I love Lamborghinis.
I get that.
That'd be like probably like my ultimate goal. It's like, once I get a Lambo, I can die happy.
You can.
That's it.
You're good. You
Once
can
I
do it
get a
right
Lambo,
now, dude. You can do it right now.
Just gotta go get a Lambo.
Just get a couple years older. You're good. Just wait for the market to crash next year, and you're good. Go buy a Lambo.
Yeah.
No, but Anna's is, and dude, that's so funny. So she's the money smart person. I'm not. I'm like, dude, if I have extra money, I'm gonna go buy a new gun or something. But we paid off a Telluride. And so I was like, dude, we like the equity in that thing right now is like sick. Like we have $50,000-$60,000 to put towards anything, you know. And then I saw on a dealership in town, and they had a 2017 G-Wagon, white, black wheels. Like I'll never buy another black car except for the Grand National. If that were to ever happen, I'd do that again. But besides that, I'd never buy another black car. So hard. R32 sucks. And I'll get it repainted once it's done. But that's like her dream car. And I'm like, why don't we just do it? Like, let's just do it. That was before like we decided like build this house and everything. But I was like, let's just do it. Who cares? Like we have like $50,000 down. And I was like, that's like we'll be in the same payment we were when we first bought this. At that point. Like, why not? And she's like, and for like maybe a split second, she was like, what? That's a pretty good idea. And then she's like, no, we're not doing that. I'm like, damn it. I was like, we were so close. And I was like, that, but I mean, that would probably be one of my dream car too. Is a G-Wagon. I'm like, dude, that thing sick. And then you want to get crazy with it and do like a 6x6 or something stupid. But I'm like, and I was like, that's why I don't have money. That's why I don't have money. Because I would have nonsense. Maybe not married. If I was single, I'd have nonsense.
Yeah, I'm like a work hard, play hard guy, man. Like I spend some, but I also like pretty big on saving and investing too.
Yeah.
But I definitely know I work with a lot of people who have some really nice things and no money. They have a lot of nice things.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
Yeah, actually, I have a friend I work with. He just bought a GTR a couple months ago. I would say I'd say my Evo is the fastest car I've been in until I got into his GTR.
Really?
Yeah, and he has some work done to it, and it's become like, that took me to a whole nother level of fast.
Really?
It's like, that took me to like uncomfortable, scary fast.
Huh.
Where you're just doing like
what kind of work does he have done to it?
Dude, and the problem is like the GTRs don't need a ton. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he has like he bought it with like simple things done to it. And like I thought my Evo was fast. That's like middle ground fast. And then you enter like a different block of fast.
Yeah.
And like that was a different block of fast. It's like, it's one thing to go like 70, 80 on like a residential street, like tearing it up. Dude, like we're doing like $120, $130, like in just like a street.
Yeah.
And you're just like, it's scary. Dude. So that only made me think like, imagine the guys like at like 2K who have like 2,000 horsepower cars or like a 1,500 horsepower like Supra.
Yeah.
Or like
drive.
Yeah, these dudes do like, oh, let's go race on the freeway where we're from 60 to 200, and you're just like,
dude,
what?
That's what I want.
That'd be scary. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like after being my buddy's GTR, it's like, it's different. I couldn't imagine that.
It's like a cage or anything.
No.
Real bar. That's scary.
No,
That's scary. I couldn't do that. I will say I'm a little more paranoid now. Like even when the R32 like was running good before we got parked, I couldn't tell you the last time I raced it. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Because I'm like, no, if I want to do it, I want to do it like right. And it just made me a little nervous. Because I'm like, dude, there's so many things that could have gone wrong in all the years that I did it.
Oh yeah.
That I'm like, ooh.
I will say that I am a little bit like, I'm definitely not like careless when it comes to being a goon in the car.
Yeah.
Like, and you always see it, like I don't weave in and out of traffic. Like I don't do stupid stuff. Like if anything, like I'll let it rip on like a street where like I can clearly see there's nobody around, or like it's well lit, or it's at night when like it's like a section of road where nobody can pull out in front of you. It's just like, but you definitely see people get like crazy careless.
Yeah, I would love to go to TX2K, and like my like thing is like just go surprise people with it. It's like, dude, there's a place, and I haven't looked it up recently, but there's a place in Colorado, and I took a tour of their shop, and they have they started a customer R32 for me. Like, this is like simple stuff. They started, and it sounded good, but it was like 600, 700, something like that, and they're like, ours is way faster. I was like, what? I was like, what is it? And it's cool. And they're like, ours is for like 1,000, 1,100. Like, heck yeah. Like, it's still all-wheel drive? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, heck yeah, dude. And it's like gutted, full cage. Like, that's their race car.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, they're like, it doesn't. It takes a little bit, but then they said how they save launching it and like breaking things. It's like, you usually don't do that. It's like you catch people at that point. Like, but you go bigger, like big on the turbo. Like you get into a little bit of boost and you launch it like that, but like that's nowhere near what it can do. You're just trying not to break things. I'm like, that's genius. So I was like, go huge turbo, and then they're like, and then for a while there I was thinking about spraying it like now, like a little bit of nitrous, because I'm like, dude, that's how I lost. Was people would eventually catch me because it launched so hard that like, you know. And I had an acquaintance who had an Evo 10, and he said bolt-ons, and I was like, oh yeah, that'd be a good race. And dude, it pulled hard on me. I was like, that's not bolt-ons, right?
Yeah.
And then my cousin at the time he had a Cobalt, and that car was fast. It was a fast Cobalt, and he's like, and we talked him into racing the Cobalt, the guy in the X, and he's like, sure, and he's like, you know, from a roller, from a dig. He's like, let's do a dig. Like, dude, that car's front wheel drive. Like, you destroyed me, and I'm all wheel drive. And I was like, do one of each. And he's like, okay. So obviously he destroyed the Cobalt, probably from a dig. And then they got on the freeway, and it was probably like at the B over here, like where you could see the freeway, like behind the high school. And it was just like funny. The Cobalt was gone. And we're like, oh, it was fast, dude. And I was like, heck yeah. And but that was the thing. I like, even in the car scene, like you talking to some people, you're like, why are you gonna lie about what you have done in your car? Like, I don't care that much. Like, if you beat me, like, you know, you could tell me you have a huge turbo, and I would still probably want to race you or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then I've had guys that, it was another Evo. I think it was an X, stock though. And like, that's a good race. Like the R32 and that, you probably beat me, depending on how far we go. Like, you probably beat me, but he didn't want to launch it, which I'm like, I get that. Like, but at this point, the R32's been through like 2 transmissions. And, you know what I mean? I was like, we're good. I don't care. And like 3 clutches, and but I was like, that's what I like. I want to do everything like it's not gonna break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like, it's not gonna break unless I consistently do that. But if I want to turn it up one day and like just go.
That's kind of how I am with my car. Like, I've only launched it like under boost a few times, and like when you launch it too, you gotta like slip the clutch. You just don't dump the clutch.
Yeah.
So it's like. And then people are like, well, why don't you go take it to the track and, like, see what it runs in, like, a quarter mile. And I'm just like, I'm kind of scared because I'm like, because I'll spin all 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I get on it, like, I'll break traction. But I'm just like, on an actual treated track, I'm afraid that it'll catch. There won't be any slip. So, like, all that pressure is going to go somewhere and just grenade my trans.
Dude, that's the thing. That's what they said. That's whenever if you were to launch like that, the big turbo is going to help. But like when you finally get in full boost, they're like, axles has to be a thing. Like, that's a priority. Axles, and with those, if I'm keeping the 6-speed, there's not much they can do besides like shift forks and a few other things. Like, I can't like fully build it. And I'm like, that makes me a little nervous. Like, so why wouldn't I go sequential when I can handle 1,500 horsepower? Like, there's like, I forget I don't know where they're based out of. They do those like the newer 5-cylinder Audis now.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Irons or something like that. It's
yeah.
like, dude, 1,500 horsepower in a 5-cylinder. Like, that's nuts. That's so cool. But it would be those transmissions. It's like the same as an R8 essentially. But just pull back. I'm like, dude, that'd be so sick. But yeah, 10 grand, 9 or 10 grand. I'm like, goodness. I was like, that's like half of what I paid for the car.
Yeah.
Like, that's not cool. But that's a goal. Is to like slowly but surely take that apart and do that, and just try and do it all myself. But cars is a hard one. Like,
Never ends.
never ends, dude. Like, where, yeah, like you said, where do you draw the line? I think if you like, I don't think you do. I think you're gonna want a little more that's gonna break. And then say, okay, fix it now.
Dude,
I can handle that.
So that's a thing, though. It's like I really do say, like, if I were to go into my Evo and do a rip in it and just grenade it, like, everyone think I would be devastated. But I always tell my friends, I'm like, I would secretly be happy.
Just leave it.
And they're just like, why? And I'm like, because I'm going to build the motor. And I'm going to have a 900 horsepower Evo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the thing. If you blow it up, and that's kind of like why I was like flirting with the nitrous thing. Because then I would have to build it, right? It's blown up. I would have to fix it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's just through a rod. It's like, all right, new block. Build
everything.
1,000 horsepower block.
Yeah. Dude, that's hard. But eventually.
And it takes a lot of money.
Dude. What's funny is now, I would say 4 or 5 years ago, that to do the R would be like, there was a local company in town. They're not a company anymore. I forget their name. But they had R32. They did. They're a European car company. And same year. And when I pulled in, the dude goes at the front counter. He goes, "You're driving a VR6?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What is it?" And I said, "It's an R32." He's like, "Dude," he's like, "I heard it when I pulled in." He's like, "Yeah, there's nothing that sounds like it." And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "I've owned 2." I said, "I own a 95 Jetta and then this, which is kind of, technically is a VR6." And he said, "How can I help you?" I was like, "I just want to get a quote. What would it cost to turbo it without building anything, like low boost?" And he's like, "We just built this one outside. Come check it out." And it was cool. It was like stock. And he showed me the price tag, dude. And it was like 13 grand.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, "Well, how much power are you making?" And he's like, 400. And I was like,
That's not nearly enough there, buddy.
Huh? I was like, you didn't do anything, but just bolt on kit. And I was like, it's like custom tune? No, it's flashed. And I was like mind blown. I'm like, how was it so much? Like, and I saw a list of parts. I'm like, dude, like, I don't know why it's that much money, but I guess you could charge it. But now I price stuff, and I'm like, dude, like, you could do it. Like, I could literally turbo it now, like that same way for half the price. And like, I mean, that'd be kind of cool. But then I know how it would be. I want it more and more and more. Then it's gonna blow up. Then it's gonna break. Then I'll have to do the thing that I want to do now, later on. So I'm just gonna wait and do it all right. But yeah, cars, dude.
Dude, never ends.
I'm trying to think.
Where are we at now? We'll be here forever.
I know.
You have to work tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
That's okay. But dude, when I was living in Avondale, I went to wash my car at night. I'm not doing it during the day. I'll die. Because it was in the summer. And so it's getting dark. I was like, I'm going to go do it now. Drove to wash my car. And this is off of the car topic. And this car pulls up behind me. Like, I was in the bay, pulled out of the bay to like the vacuum area of this car wash. And this guy was outside the bay, then pulled into the bay. It's open. No one's there. For some reason, he's behind me the whole time. And I was like, that's really weird. I think then I didn't own anything. So I was like, I didn't think about it like that then. But he pulls up behind me after a while. I was finishing up, getting ready to leave. And he goes, "You from here?" Younger guy. And I was like, "No." I said, "I'm going to school here." And he was like, "Oh, cool." And he's like, "What do you do for work?" And I said, "Oh, I'm a valet." So I drive cars. And he's like, "Have you valeted anything cool?" And I was like, "A couple things cool." So I'm like, what have you been able to drive? I said, "Well, some things I've declined driving because I don't want to drive it." I said, "But I think the coolest thing I've driven was a Ferrari." I was like, a couple Porsches and a couple Vets. I was like, "That's pretty cool." So, but I've declined. There's this old Vet that came through, and I said, "No, I'm good. I don't want to touch that thing. Like, I'll drive the Ferrari, but I'm not driving that Vet." And he's like, "That's cool. That's pretty cool." And then he goes, "Do you make good money?" I was like, "Meh. Whatever, enough, I guess." is that about making more money? I was like, that's a weird thing to ask someone that you have no idea who I am. And I'm like, so right away I was like, no, not really. I'm happy where I'm at. You know, just going to school and working a little bit. And he goes, you sure? It's like, yeah, dude, I like where I'm at. And he goes, well, you know, you're a handsome dude. And I was like, what the heck? Where is this going, right? It's like, are you a good dancer? I was like, no, man, I'm not a good dancer at all. Like, at all. I'm not a good dancer. I probably wouldn't have said yes, even if I was, but I'm really not. So I was like, no, dude, not at all. I was like, oh, okay, you know. And I was like, why dancing? And I forgot what he said. It was like super sketchy, but it was like, yeah, like private club dancing or something weird. And I'm like, and I was like, in my head, I'm like, this guy want to be like a private stripper. I'm like, that's really weird. Like, he's driving around asking people if they want to be dancers at car washes. And so I was like, no, good. All right, thanks, man. I was like, all right, we'll see you later. And when I drove home, I was like, what the heck was that, dude? That was a funny little moment. And then when I first moved there, Uncle Nancy lived on the other side. So my cousin's like, do you own a gun? Where you're moving? Do you own a gun? I was like, no. How old was I? 20? 19 or 20? I was like, no. Why? He's like, I'd go shopping for one. And I was like, no. And I really didn't think it was that bad till like the longer I was there and I started to see more places.
Yeah.
And it's not bad. But like there's those areas where like,
if you go a little too south, it does get bad.
Dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh. I went to a mall. It was a little sketchy.
Yeah.
This mall's a little sketchy. We shouldn't be here.
There's some sketchy parts. I still don't think it's like terrible. But
Yeah.
I mean, Albuquerque is super sketchy, man.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think that-
well, it's
that
like, yeah,
is bad.
it's like, it's two different things. Two different sketchies.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's different.
Yeah.
So I'm used to here. Like, you see some crazy stuff, you're like, ah. But out there, I'm like, you know what I mean?
It's like, but the same thing. You could go over here, and then you're just like, people would be like, oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, one it up. The question is,
Last one.
last question of the night. It's a doozy, and we've talked about a lot of nonsense, which that's the name of the game. Yeah, it was not alcohol, driven. We had 2 drinks.
Yeah, kept it easy.
Yeah, he took it easy, and so we just had some weird conversation for a long amount of time, and it was fun. It was a blast.
Nobody's making it through this whole thing.
No one's watching this whole thing. This is for us, and that's what I enjoyed the most. Probably because no one's gonna watch this, but I haven't seen you in so long. And why not?
Yeah, it's in a weird way. It's still cool to like have conversation.
Yeah, in hopes that one day someone might see it. But the question is, it's a little deep. It's not really deep, but in everything we talked about, the traveling, the stupid stuff, the smart stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been answered a handful of different ways. In regards to future kids, okay. Life has its ups and downs, right? That's everyone. That's life. The question is, would you go back? Okay, and this is going to be hard because we talked about like going back and changing things, right? So with that out of mind, if you could go back and somehow give yourself advice without affecting the future of maybe changing things that you might not have liked now in your current life,
Yeah.
or would you still live the same life so that you can give all these life experiences to future kids?
Ah, man, that is a weird one. I don't know. I think if I could go back and tell myself like what. I would just say take advantage of the time. Like, I still don't think I don't have like any crazy regrets or anything, and I don't live like that way. I really like, oh, I shouldn't have done this or shouldn't have done this. Like, obviously we say that, like, oh man, we shouldn't have been doing that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't really live like
really. Yeah.
I don't have anything where I'm just like, man, like that was a bad one. Like, nothing too crazy like that. But I think for me, like as we've gotten older, like you know, like I'll be 30 next year. You know, I think you're probably already 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, so I'll be 30 next year. And like, dude, do you ever think we'd be sitting here together at 30?
No.
No way. We were like 19, goofing off, driving around at night, doing stupid stuff. So like to think that like here we are all this time, like where did it go? And so like I think for me, like you realize that like the time is probably the most important thing you have. And so I think there's like I think if I wouldn't say I would regret doing things or whatever, but I think I would have taken a little bit better advantage of the time and just realized like, you know, I remember being like 21 or whatever and just like 22, 23, and then you're just like, oh, I'm still young. And don't get me wrong, just like you said before, like we all were still young, but it's like, I don't know, we're 30, man. Like from 19, when we were 19 to here we are at 30, like it's like
Fast.
this. Like, dude, who knows? Maybe we're going to be talking about this at 40. Like, I remember when we did that podcast, like, and it's going to be like a flash to us. So it's like, I think as I have gotten older, I realize that like the time does come fast and it does go by quick. And like, I think when I did that when I was younger, it's like, oh, I got time for that. And I think I'm at a point in my life where I realize like maybe you don't, you know, like, so I would say probably just take more advantage of the time of just, whether it's like saving money or doing things that you're like, oh, I would like to do that, but later.
Yeah,
you know what
not
I mean?
a priority.
Yeah, or you just kind of like, oh, I got time for that. Like that's always like the excuse. It's like, oh, I got time for that later. Like I think it's one of those like, I think where I'm at now, like in my stage of life, I feel like I'm just very much like, kind of just need to do it. You know what I mean? Like I don't like to live like, oh, later. Like I'll save money later, or I'll go to this trip later, or I'll, you know, do this thing later. You kind of like always put things off to the side. Like I think it's just one of those, like if it's important to you, I think you just need to just do it and don't do it for later. Like work on doing it soon. You know?
So you would go back?
Yeah. I don't care about the future generation, dude. That's their problem.
I like it. Well, do you have any other questions? Anything you want to get into?
We'll be here. We will open another can of worms, bro, and we'll be here forever.
There's you and another buddy that I'm like, dude, there could be multiple like episodes.
Yeah.
Like it would just be never ending.
I'm a talker, dude.
Yeah.
I'll talk forever.
What do you call? I don't even know what time it is. Please be before midnight.
It's 12:06.
Is it really?
It really is.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. We're going to call it episode 11. Mr. Vincent Portillo. I would say keep up with him, but I like his status of laying low all these years. I respect it. What more could a guy ask for than a little bit of privacy? My goodness. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh, that too.
Yeah. Thank you all for hanging out.
Put on my new beanie.
Wearing the new merch. Still got some beanies. Still got some hats for sale. DM me. Get you hooked up. You guys have a good rest of your night. Merry Christmas.